Hey guys, welcome to the close. Couple hours left in a Monday session that once again turns pretty negative on Mr. Powell, coming out with some comments not really helping things much at all this afternoon. We do have a few areas of the market that are showing some relative strength and a few obviously leading us back to the downside, but Powell coming out. The interesting thing here, saying nothing we've really haven't heard already, just reiterating some of the things we heard last week with the Fed announcement. So back in the red once again for all three U.S. indexes here. It is a NASDAQ tech stocks that are leading to the downside. We'll jump over, have a look at the overall market here and break it down by sector for you anyways. Now 0.5% for the S&P 500. It's really just energy that's holding things up. Some of the material stocks, we saw metal prices pretty impressive right out of the gate this morning. So all the metal related stocks, there's Nucor, there's Newmont, there's FCX, all up 2+% on the day. Mosaic extending gains from last week as well in the fertilizer headlines we talked about. Yeah, there's the energy sector. Oil holding on to this nice gain today on this headline this morning, suggesting the EU could jump on the bandwagon with the US and ban Russian oil. Everything else, though, pretty red. The defense names popping back up, some positivity in Lockheed Martin and that group. DE, 2.2% today, but the consumer discretionary sector, the tech sector, all in negative territory. Communication services, all to the downside. Quick look at the NASDAQ here. Pretty red NASDAQ for you right across the board. There's Pinduoduo, JD.com, 7% for both to the downside after pretty impressive gains last week. There's some movement in cybersecurity. We'll talk about that coming up. My voice is dying. Excuse me. Hope everyone's well this afternoon. Apparently I'm not. It's been one of those days. Let's jump right into it. We'll have a look back at some of the things we were talking about this morning to kick things off, see some opportunities. You might have had NRSN, by the way, going again back towards that high. Let's jump into a bit of a review, though. Sean is going to lead us this afternoon. Here we go.
Here we go, guys. Yeah, it's the trade of the day, and today it's brought to you by NEO. Today down that 3% plus, a little bit more than that at some, and a little bit better off the open. But you can see, why did I want to look at NEO today? Just because, again, the moves some of these Chinese names have been pretty epic. We had a bottom here just on the 15th before Fed here of $13, and then we rip city all the way up to 21.50. So we came in today thinking, okay, let's let these things settle down, and that's exactly what we did. Why we brought NEO to everyone's attention here today is really just in this channel right now. Fed Chair Jerome Powell came out around 12:30 or so and kind of flipped the game a little bit, talking that they may have to raise a little bit more, turning some of his dovish speak into more hawkish speak, which we sort of thought did happen when they came out with the statement last week. But today they sort of reiterated that with Russia, with some of the supply chain issues, that maybe this inflation is going to be high for quite a while, and they have to send the rates a little northbound, which makes stocks, as I do this, go to the south side. So we hit NEO right away. NEO with some news this morning talking about possible fears of, again, supply chain, costs going up everywhere. So we wanted to look at NEO and we wanted the short. So basically we had to wait for a level to develop. Off the open, very, very shady, back and forth, not really too many trades until you take this area right here, which is the pre-market low. And that's sort of what I wanted to highlight here. It's at 2050. So once we're able to find out about this area, which goes back to, again, we don't have it going all the way back in the pre-market. That's just 7 a.m. So the pre-market low is really 2070, but you had some wicks down here to 2050. And then on Friday, this kind of bottom right there at 2050. I love trading those 50, 75 and O's, and quarters added into there. So when we came back up and the market was ripping back to the north side, then Powell came. That gave us a little bit of protection here to say, you know what, let's short NEO. We get a little bit of a bump up there, and then the crash happens, and it's amazing. So we just wait. We put on, obviously, a big amount of shares there. And this is the thing. It's all about ratio for me, right? And it's like, if you can manage manage your trades, then you can use more shares. And that's exactly what I did here, because we initially go short at 2040 into this 2050 area. And we're only giving ourselves, I think it's a 42 to be honest with you, we're giving ourselves like 10 cents with slippage up to that 52. And then look what happens. It just completely starts cracking down. A couple 10 cents, getting out at VWAP, cracking all the way down. Then we start to get out and then we say, where is that bottom, right? Why do we have so many? First of all, we have so many executions because we reloaded at the 50 period. We reloaded. And I'll talk about getting out there because it finally breaks higher through 20. So we kept on reloading against that 20. Eventually it breaks. Of course, now it's lower. But the point what I was getting at is this little level right into here, 1918, as you can see, we dipped below for a minute. But then we kept bouncing off 1980 as well. So that's where a lot of these outs come from, all with like 81s, 82s, 83s, things like that. So again, it's a big short. It's 2040, then a reload at 2010, and then outs are all here in the 90s and the 80s. So you're dealing with ratios when you take this into consideration of like 4 to 1, 5 to 1. That's crazy. Like I do that all day, every day. Even 2 to 1 is a great ratio. But now you come back in. Neo, I like the short here. Why? Because we had Fed come out, send the markets to the downside, so that's one thing. They're already talking supply. They're already talking inflation. These are worries for Neo. Plus, the chart gives us this area, right? Gives us this channel. So as soon as we're able to get short, we did that. And we liked it so much. 1, 2, 3, 4 reloads. And then till finally our 5th one. So these 2 errors right here. So 1, 2, 3. Our 4th reload, we wind up taking a small little hit there, getting out of the last bit of shares. But hey, it's Neo. It's set up perfectly for me. And we hammered it. It's your trade of the day.
Got to be at your desk to take advantage of opportunities regardless of what time they come about. Great job from Sean there doing that. Yeah, it was Fed Chair Powell coming out, taking the market back to the downside here, talking about the fact that nothing would prevent them from raising a half point as soon as May. So I'll show you the Fed rate tool coming up here. First off, that is the link, guys, to the watch list we send out every single morning before we come on at 8:30, absolutely free. NIO was a name on that watch list this morning. Here it is. The CME Fed Funds Target Rate tool now showing a 61.6% possibility of a half a point hike here coming as soon as May. So his comments, exactly that. Just absolutely nothing would prevent them from raising a half point as soon as May. So here we go again, I guess, for the overall market, guys. Back on watch, not even a week into the last rate hike.
I mean, all I gotta say about our friend Uncle Jerome there is, he couldn't have made this comment like when I was short before I got stopped out of a firm. Like really? Like come on, man. Like I just missed it, like just a little bit sooner, bro. Like all the way back in the VWAP, and everything dropped. It is what it is. I mean, I didn't think that it was off the cards anyways, but I guess him saying that is going to cause the market obviously to move into the downside. And there's a lot to watch this afternoon, but I think the bigger story is sort of what happened to the overall market, because a firm was up and looking again like 5 days in a row to the upside, looking pretty strong, and then it makes that turn after. But this is what's going on in the NASDAQ. Like we're sort of chilling out, trying to take out those highs from last week off of the monster run to end the week, and then a little bit of a rug pull. So you're going to look for some shorts or some small caps that are moving here this afternoon. I'm in SEN. I've been in and out of NRSN like multiple times here. And Mullins even actually starting to come back, but all doing fantastic volume in the context of this market pulling back in here. Although there is some strength to be had. As Brendan mentioned, the metals name's doing pretty well. Tesla's actually up 2% and doing pretty well itself back into VWAP. But there's plenty of action here.
We also had, hey, what's up, guys? We're also in our new spot right now, by the way.
Yeah.
So
My bad.
if you wanted to, you might see a little different situation. This is our original spot. So now you get everybody behind us. You'll see the traders there. And then Miss V and Trader Pratt will be right beside us. I'm hoping you can almost see Tony. Yeah, right at the edge of that day trade. Yeah, right
there.
Yep, right there. That's Oh God, now everyone can see him all the time. We just got to work on some of the shadows here. We talked about that. So we'll get that. But thank you to Lucas, everybody, Fahad, Rob, Mark, everybody just working the ones and twos there and getting this all set up. So big thank you to that, and thank you to everybody in our group, in the chat, and everybody forever, because we're getting ready to up this game just one more notch here with Prad and Miss V. The quality is about to go through the roof. And of course, as Prad said, they've got the best show on YouTube. So we have to update their
like that,
setting.
eh?
It's like that, apparently. Okay, we also hit Palantir. So again, it's the same kind of thought. Like, you know, I normally love, and shout out to Henry Z, who's probably here. He's going to be, you know, upset with me here. But look at this. 1, 2, 3. We like it so much, we hit it thrice right there. It's so nice, we hit it thrice. Palantir all the way up to the 50 period, shorting this name. All the way back down. We still have this. It's 25 cents in the money. But again, out, just like a robot all the way down into here. And now we'll wait to see if we do maybe a possible reload again. And all we really did, because we're talking about Powell, he came out here. Let's just show you the NASDAQ. And it was right here. I think that's what I'm saying. It was 12:30 when he started his speech. The market came right back down to the downside. And we talked about that on the show with Trader Prad. Oh, this is 11:30, but it's Chicago time. So 12:30 p.m. came through, and that's when this move started happening here on Palantir, straight back down to the downside. And what Powell was basically saying was, due to the war and due to some of these inflationary numbers, it is possible that they start just firing bullets at half a point instead of 25 points. So I don't know if he changed the rate from that 2.8 target, but to the downside, also talking about Russia, and doesn't look like Russia's ending anytime soon. So we started going short on Palantir. And the reason why we pick a name like Palantir was, you have to go over, and this is just part of the game, you have to go over to names that have ripped since the Fed came out, right? So the Fed was the 15th, just came all the way up, ripped from $10 up to 13. Like I think it's about 25% up, right? Considering you're going to get names like DKNG and whoopsies. I know DraftKings has other things happening to it, but you know, another name like a DraftKings, sort of expecting, and could get caught here, but there it is right there from 12:30. Most of these names are going to be back near their lows right now. Names that were high flyers, Brendan, that have now come back in. So whatever was benefited from Powell, today it's coming back in a little bit. So I do expect bigger drop-offs in some of these names.
We'll keep an eye on it. Guys, worth noting, just double check. So last week we got CPI first, and then we got the Fed. So coming up in May, it's going to be May 3 and 4. That's CYRN. We'll talk about that coming up. But so May 3rd and 4th is the next actual Fed meeting and announcement. The CPI is actually after that next month. So it'll be 10th and 11th. We'll get CPI readings for last month, or the prior month. So a bit of a flip-flop as far as inflation. Obviously, CPI, the biggest indication of that, going to be after the next Fed meeting coming up in May. Let's talk about cybersecurity, specifically this CYRN, just real quick, just because we showed that. I was looking at it because it came back up here to 720. There was a note from the White House asking for all these companies to bulk up on their technology, probably Russia related, but that happened here. We went straight to the upside. So just having a look at 7, see what happens at 7 here for CYRN. But all of these cybersecurity stocks moving around this afternoon on that. We heard about NIO, guys. There's a lot of other Chinese names that were moving around in the pre-market. Alibaba, JD.com, both weak initially, continued. PDD, Pinduoduo, reported earnings, was looking strong pre-market. That also completely faded. So wide ranges again today for the rest of this group.
Yeah, a little bit of volatility for those names. Pinduoduo, if you remember last week, all of these names gapped up so far. You know, when you had that on it's a Tuesday to Wednesday move, it went 22 at one point, was essentially a double up, and you got to Friday and it was a double up on the week, going 22 bottom to like a 45 top here. Just unbelievable. But guess what? It also gave you this look. And NIO had the same double top. I forget, there was a couple of other names we were pointing out there that had essentially tops from Friday and then were screaming in here. But Pinduoduo had mixed earnings. They missed. They had some metrics that were good in terms of user growth, but overall a miss. And then you get this nice push right into 46. I'll do you one better, because if you pull the 15-minute back even further, Like that resistance it looks better the further you pull back. Trust me, that 46 looks absolutely gorgeous every single time I go back further in the time frame. And the only mistake was, as usual, sort of not holding on to it long enough, but that's par for the course. 40 was going to be the target for me anyways, and it's just across the board. You know, this pullback has something to do with how far they had all come up and how strong they had been. Now, at this point, I'm looking to this support down around 36, 37, which held for the most part of the week. Since that gap up, Pinduoduo has held that gap. And I would expect if we get down to 37, there could be some buyers in there. Maybe it happens, I don't know, Powell came in, tanked the market a little bit here, so maybe that's an option we could be looking at here today. But this is going to be on my radar as long as we're able to get a good read on the levels. We're going to keep going back to this particular well here. Was able to do better than last week when we got 3. We managed to get $5 on the last of our shares. But I'm starting to think about that 37. It's worth it. If we have any pop, I want to fade 42. You can see that was Friday afternoon support level. It had a bit of a curl there at 42 at 11 o'clock. As we were actually getting into our new position. So my PC wasn't available that time. But if we get back to that price, you better believe I'm taking it short again.
Okay. Shout out to Taco Eater. Shout out to Havana. What's up, Havana? Shout out to Clayton there. Yeah, we're reloaded, and you got it right, Taco Eater. We're reloaded on to NEO. Now that we're talking about some of these Chinese names, it's starting to make a move back to the downside. So there's the reload right there. Just put it on at 12s, I think. Yeah, 12s. What's my average price? 12. Yeah, that's the trade. So we are into NEO right now. One time in. We just took a bid out at 05. It just hit 02s there. We're actually waiting at 01s, I believe. Yep, 01, so good right there. Right ahead of the 50 period, and then we'll see about a NEO test back down to the downside. That's one trade. Also, Alibaba, man, we were able to make a little bit of money back on this name with a couple nice shorts into the same area of concern right here. So we did, let me zoom this in a little bit. We did go short into here, 103.20, 103.05 or 50. The high being this 103.75. So check out this short, man. This is a great one. In there, and again, it's all part of this. Out. We had to hold it against ourselves. Then we got out some more down here. Then it busted up, and that's where we got again, and then it was just tick, 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 boom. So that's a 103.20 or so. This is a 101.30. So, like, you might be looking at this and say, like, oh, like, you know, why did you hold? That's $2, man. That's still a $2 winner. I guess 180 there on that name. So all the way to the downside, we start taking early profits. This is a 103.20, and then we have our 103.16. A lot of these out before the 50 period at 102.80, 102.90, 103 flat. Then we come into this area again. That's 102.50s all the way down. Early on, though, if we want to look at Alibaba, just quickly how we traded it today, it was first a long. We got this long at 102.30, and which you're noticing the prices I'm short now and where we're getting out. 102.30, nicely done to the upside. But then we break 105. This is where we smelled a little bit of a rat, able to get out, but then it tanked down, average in, got out. Then there's one little out right into here on the longs when we broke 103.50. But then we're like, no, we decided to change completely what we're thinking about the longs and then started to go short on Alibaba, and then that's where it really got fun. This is 102. I mean, maybe I should have done Baba for trade of the day. This is 102. This is 102.50. This is 99.17. We have a 99.17 bid as it just kept falling short again, short, and then we just talked about what we did right here. So I like these Chinese names at the short side. They rallied off of obviously some listing news last week, then they rallied off of Powell. So if Powell's going to change his tone a little bit, then I say it's down with some of these Chinese names, including NEO right now, where we're getting close to getting another fill. We just took this trade, and it's 10 cents in the money, NIO.
All right, watch Mullen here, guys. Just picking up in volume once again. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because Mullen came back into the morning dip price. So this morning, we were looking at 335, sort of right about 9 o'clock. It did into that price, tried to go, dipped again at 9:30, got up to 380 from there. Then one more dip, went from 330 all the way to 380. We took it, actually held some to $4. But just a huge flush down, breaking this 360 level right into that bottom. So if it takes out that 30, I don't want to have any part of this. I think you're retesting 3 at that point, going all the way back into here. As a matter of fact, just got stopped. The sell pressure is pretty large right now. So it was worth the shot because that was a good consolidation before. But Mullen really starting to accelerate to the downside. Not saying I don't think it's going to halt because the liquidity has been so incredible the last few days. It doesn't really halt in either direction, but there's some serious selling going on now in Mullen.
I'm just double checking here if there's anything happening. I don't see anything. Yeah, approaching 400 million shares for MULN. Crazy volume, just slicing through levels right now like they weren't even there. Let's talk about oil, because oil back to basically day highs here as we head towards the final 10 minutes of the oil session. Wanted to mention IMPP. A lot of people were talking about the offering today. So this thing got killed, but it's worth mentioning. We are slowly getting back to the upside, trying to hold above 150 right now on decent volume. So we talked a little bit this morning about how, yeah, oil was higher along with all the bigger names in the space, but some of these low float kind of, tiny little energy related stocks that had those big runs going back a week or so ago, not participating in this IMPP with the offering today.
Oh, yeah, we said this morning. And look, you have to be always at least a little bit concerned or wary of when some of these lower float names get running for a few days or weeks in a row that, a lot of times they have the option to do exactly that with the offering an IMPP and they get smoked. And that can leave for some caution in other names. And that's just the reality, whether it's Indo or whichever one you were trading, some relative weakness there. But the strength was still there for the big boys, right? And we talked about this, and I like expressing the trade in the equity. Oxy's been pretty good, bullish, so always go long Oxy, and if I find a short, then try to do that in the Chevron. But this 59 really just stood out, and this is something we went over, I think many times, even early in the week, we're sort of talking about this level on Oxy. You had the strong move up, and then you find a top, and it just could not break this level all week. We bounced right. We close out Friday by trying to test that level and running away from it. Then you get the gap up in oil prices and a chance for this break on maybe one of the most explosive stocks in the market. That's the 59 break. It goes pretty clean to 62. I scalped some in front of 60 and then out in front of 62. And I just feel, now as long as we're holding 107, 108 in crude prices, then we should be trying to bid off or buy off of this 59 level for the rest of the week on Occidental. So I just still favor going long Oxy when it comes to those long, especially in the morning. If you're looking for that morning breakout trade with the dip and rip, it's got to be Oxy. If I'm trying to fade levels when oil makes a high, I'll do it in Chevron off key prices. But it's about time to have gotten on this train because I kept missing out on longs day after day in Occidental. Finally able to catch one today.
Okay, so just as this is happening here, the market is ripping like crazy here. Biden says there's evolving intelligence that Russian government is, cyber attacks? No, that can't be it. Okay, so we'll wait to see. All right, so we did get out of some of this down here at 04. Obviously, it's starting to rip up right now. I'm going to sort of let this be for a second. We did get into Alibaba right now. This is much more of a concern for me. We just took that short right now at 37, so it's nice that we came back down. If we could take this out at 16 or 17, whatever it was, there for a few shekels, like Neil would say there, stealing your line. Yeah. We're just going to work it up to this level right now. We have more shares in Alibaba than we do in NEO, so I'm not... obviously I'm going to address NEO in a second, but it's basically the same chart. This 103.80, if that breaks, we're gone. I'm not going to try to get fancy with it and say, let's give this up to 104. To me, honestly, if you break out, you break out. The market is breaking out now. I mean, this was the level. We started to hit to the upside. So, I don't need to see the market rip back to the high side for me to get out of some of these trades. We're positive today. It's been a good day for me. And we'll just make sure that we can take some profit on here. What am I bidding? I'm bidding 16, not 17. We went down to 18s there. So hopefully we'll go one more penny, two more pennies down. We'll get out in the teens here. Not out. We'll take out, I guess, about a quarter of this position as I got to go over my positions one more time. There's 16. Let's see what happens there. Can we hold it again there, like 100 shares? Okay, hopefully we'll get that bid at 16 and it will flush through. Maybe if I don't look at it, we'll get it. So let's go over to NEO now and look at that. 20, did we get it? Nope, still bounced off. That's unbelievable, that NEO. You saw us holding that level, and that's part of the problem. When you're sitting there holding shares and holding levels, sometimes it sees you and stops. You just saw that there on Alibaba. That's unbelievable. Hopefully it comes crashing down and we'll be right on that one anyways. But there's that 2025. This was really the level that we're working with NIO. So I will average into this trade right now, take some more shares and get out at 2025. I know we're talking about oil, but honestly, I just have too many other positions right now. XOM up 4% today, XOM.
Yeah, big moves right across the board, guys. All of the, you mentioned that comment from Biden there, Sean. All of the cybersecurity names popped all at once on that as well. So I just pulled up CrowdStrike, saw a huge volume spike on Crowd, down 3%, but nice double bottom there is what I was trying to say. Off 196. So CRWD is one. I mean, there's a ton, but that CYRN starting to go again on that.
So just a couple of things here, because I just got into Micron when the market pounced back up, and I remembered 77 was a support level for Micron. Earlier on in the session, it tried to be a big level, and then I looked at the 15, saw it at VWAP starting to curl, and now there's, just as I got into it, that was weird. I'm like, oh, I can actually change the thickness of my bars here with like the scroll. Anyways, that's weird. But there's now 250,000 shares on the bid at 77 even as it's trying to turn around here, and this is Micron. So I like this at VWAP. I mean, I don't see the reason why we just spiked up again. So find something that's relatively weak and jump into it. And then someone asked, why did I get out on Mullen? Because it broke the support that I was going long in front of. Like I wasn't long in front of Oblivion there. You know, once we broke that support from the morning, I wasn't really looking at pre-market level. I kind of felt we had a chance to get down to 283, which was the real level that I loved. So I was kind of hoping for lower, getting out. Well, not hoping for lower, but getting out and then seeing if we could get back in even lower and then consolidating. But no reason to jump in front of that train. I also have Sen, by the way, which I should get to. Just quickly here. That's off of this 250 high. I shorted it into it the first time on the way up. It did a fail break. And if it does a fail break, I'm going to jump right back into the same trade. We got short in front of 50, scalps them out, reloaded in front of 250 again, and then they're scalping down towards VWAP. That one seems like it's a little bit more calm. But yeah, lots already happening, and the market's starting to get going once again. But like I said, Micron relatively weak, down 3%. That's why I'm shorting this pop.
All right. Yeah, I was just looking here. Okay, rejected. Yeah, I put in the wrong price. Okay, so that's fine. Alibaba, we took another bid out there at 09, so it did come back down. We are getting ready to get out of this one, and we talked about that breaking to the high side just in case. And then, yeah, NEO, we took one more trade right here, obviously, as we have that 2025 right in front of us here. But, yeah, have you already gone over that Facebook, or is that the next headline?
Go ahead, if you want.
We can go ahead and do it. Okay. So right now, Meta, obviously, today, you know, another trade that I missed today. I mean, I was in it, but we did miss it. We were trying to go long into here. It's one of my prouder stocks today, to be honest with you, because we were able to get out of this. I was, you know, talked about trying to go long into Facebook, but then you had that dismissal of the Russian court just by saying that, yeah, Meta is a terrorist or extremist organization. They listed that somewhere in here. I think it was like about 940, 950. You know, that is not a great story for us going long. So there it comes to the downside. And they've now shut off communication with Facebook and Instagram. So, I mean, that's going to be where the money is for these guys, obviously, for Facebook. So not just in Russia, but again, you know, turning it off can't be a good sign. So, you know, we got out of that one. It did make some bottoms. You know, right now it's just choppy. I think because of these headlines, we'll probably get out of the way. If it was still down here near that low, like I think that could have been tested for a long, not just because it looks like that, but, you know, anywhere around like 208, 208.50 into that bottom of 207, just because, you know, the Fed has changed. Here's where they started getting hawkish again. So we get a dump from 213 all the way down to 210. So there are drastic moves here in Facebook. It's just when you're above the 50 period and above the VWAP, I've learned my lesson on this. No matter how short I think I want to go, I can't. Like, I have to wait. You got to be patient on this. Look, we have all day, right? So literally another hour and a half. Let's see where this market goes. I'm going to remain patient with Facebook, Brendo.
Just seeing some of the banks flying by here on a scanner, guys. Watch out. Yeah, the whole market getting a nice bid at this point, it would appear anyways. Other than Mullen, which is right back to $3 now. So heads up. Unbelievable volume on that stock. Let's go to Boeing real quick. A lot of people were talking about Boeing through lunchtime, I saw. Ends up being a wait and see kind of deal, I guess, for Boeing. Nothing further as far as I've seen as confirmation anyways that it was the plane or it wasn't the plane or some sort of defect. But I mean, SPR down big time today, Boeing down big time, but they are kind of drifting back higher. Wow,
Mullen's wild, by the way.
Mullen,
I just tried the 3, And then the 3 break, the 3 hold, and then 3 broke twice there. So in and out, just another scalp trade.
Is there an offering?
I don't like. It's trading as if there's an offering, by the way, in Mullen, but there isn't one. So I mean, like at this point, 280 is going to come into play. I was sitting there saying I didn't think it was going to halt, and now I kind of feel like Mullen has a chance to halt the way it's going. But 280 is the next level.
Are we going short on a halt, or do we want to wait for that?
I can't. I'm not. It's too far down for me to want to short a halt automatically,
right,
because that 280 level starts to come into play from Friday afternoon.
Why is it not halted yet, though?
That's what I'm saying. Like it went to 330 and then down to 3, and there was just enough of a bounce at the halt band. That actually went long thinking the same thing. Oh, if it's not going to halt, it should make a bit of a bounce, and then it didn't end up working. But Mullen going nuts. I wish there had been a trade on Boeing today, and we'll get to just quickly sort of talk about it. I like the fade into 190 on Boeing. I simply said it didn't make sense to me if Boeing would have traded and tested the top end of like Wednesday and Thursday's range, which was also support on Friday, right? So you gap down below that. I kind of feel like that level would turn into resistance. We're not going to know anything with any detail for a while because that's how these things work. And obviously, you saw it kind of grind into that and never go high enough to be any kind of a short. But this is crazy. I can't keep my eyes off Mullen, and it's going to be hard doing that as I
trying to find some levels, like 270 maybe on Mullen, as this just keeps on coming to the downside right now. Why we say 270 is because we're right into here, like this 270 area for Mullen may be worth it. I didn't pay for shorts. Obviously, I'm going to assume you have to on this name, but it is just cracking lower, lower, lower. I've got 99 problems, but for me, Mullen ain't one. So we'll look at BABA as it's coming to the downside right now. This is going to be hopefully a good call for us. There's the reload, and now we go to the downside here for BABA. So Alibaba starting to make a move down, 102.70 right now. I'm in, that's my bid, sorry, 102.76. So 10 more cents down, and we got a nice juicy one here on BABA, baby. Let's go to the downside. I mean, I don't even know why. I'm waiting for specific prices, and honestly, man, I don't really know why. Bang, there it is right there, Alibaba with the nice little win to cash out. Right in front of your face, guys. We just took right there 60 cents on Alibaba, and we're still holding, man. We still got 20, 40, 60. Let's hold 40% of Alibaba to the downside. NEO working as well. Unfortunately, we're not. I mean, it's fortunate for us that we didn't get taken out there, but almost did, man. And now we should now, check our fortune because get some out on NEO as it's starting to come to the downside now.
Another thing too is like start to think about other low floaters that have run or are running. When the bottom drops out on one, they can start on others. I just got filled on Sen, and this is the candle it put in while Mullen's going nuts, right? So this was sort of slowly testing off those highs, turning to the upside, and it just put in its biggest sell candle of the day. Well, not of the day, but at least since noon. And to me, that has everything to do with what's going on in Mullen. So, sort of across the board, my guess is a few of these names are going to start to fall off. I'm going to take more out here if it gets down around VWAP, but yeah, things are getting pretty dicey. Mullen did put the turn. Of course, I didn't end up getting 280s. It's trying to put a turn in at that 280 level, so it's starting to stabilize a little bit. Don't know why it didn't halt, but just be very careful. Some of these other low float names might start to come back in as sympathy plays.
Yeah, it's just amazing how some of the liquidity, obviously, not actually there in a stock like MULN when sellers do step in. CENN is, what is it called? Centro Electric Group, which makes commercial trucks, commercial electric vehicles. So in the same kind of sentence, as Neil was saying, as that MULN. No news. They're both up on the same, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, nice move back down for CENN. All right, let's go to frustrating stocks. Pretty exciting start to the day anyways, but there was some back and forth you had to navigate carefully at the open today.
What are we talking about? It's frustrating stocks?
Frustrating stocks. So, I mean, you could probably... Like
I had one, and I don't remember what it is.
The one that I want to pick is...
I know what it is.
It's for a different reason, because I know you had Neil for the trade of the day, but the reason why I have
a different one.
The reason why I don't like... Because I didn't trade Neo, but the reason why I'm frustrated with it is I always say, like, whatever your favorite setup is one that you should always have. And I showed you guys Pinduo Duo setup. Sort of, that double top notion. But there was one thing about Neo that was actually a little bit better as a setup, and see if you guys can maybe tell it here, is Friday's high was about 21.25, and you can see it just wicked above that, right? And if there's one thing that is better than a fade off a level like that, It's when you get that false break, and look when the break happens. Right after 9 o'clock, it tries to break out Friday's high on NIO, and then you see it fail, consolidate right at 9:30 at Friday's high. And once it dumps, look, you don't have to have this trade where it's just right at that 9:30 candle it starts dumping. It's this one right here when it comes back and tries to reclaim Friday's high. That's your pop and fade all day long. Like, you're getting short 21, 21.10. You got your stop at the high of the day. And then you're essentially just holding it the rest of the session. So, and they were on the radar. All of these Chinese names were on the radar. And at that point, I was already in Pinduoduo. And that was sort of settling itself out. But NEO was just as good. And I think a lot of times what will happen is you have a reluctance to get into two related names. But sometimes it's the right thing to do. The setup is there. You make the trade. So that was frustrating for me not being in NEO. Although at this point, after saying Mullen 280 several times and then trying two longs that were not 280, I suppose that could also be the frustrating trade.
Yeah, mine's, and I thought about it right now, but it's pretty obvious right here, and it would have put me through the moon, but whatever. It is what it is. We missed it. Rivian. So I still like this. Short 46. We talked about it right here. Short 46 is good. Like, literally talking about it, and look where we want to get this down to. Short until 48, until 50. So obviously we were thinking of a big move here for Rivian today. And then, wow, bye-bye BABA to the downside. I don't have any bids on here. Hopefully this BABA is just cranking to the low side. Rivian right now, this was really the talk. Short 46. Remember what it showed there on the sticky note? So once Rivian finally loads up, let's see what Rivian did off the open. Oh yeah, how about short 46? It went up to 46.40. And like someone said last week, and I like this quote, you can't kiss all the babies. Look at this, all the way to the downside. This was the trade that we wanted to right here have. It comes all the way down to 42.50, the short Rivian 46. Off of Sticky Note Nation. So there it is, man. We'll hit the bang there for Rivian to the downside. I hope you guys had it. We didn't, but I think without further ado, we're going to go to Miss V over there, I believe I heard.
That's right, Sean. You heard right. And hey, team, thank you very much for spending this last hours with us. We have 3,000 people watching, and we really need your help. Please smash the like button and help us get 1K likes at least.
Let's talk momentum trading, guys. If you are frustrated with how your momentum trading is going, never fear, because those two guys are here, and they're going to tell you what you should be looking for in momentum trades specifically to help you be more positive. Guys, let's go. Talk some momentum trading.
Absolutely. And look, I think when you're talking about momentum trading, the first thing is try to keep it a little bit simple. And I'm going to go with the most, sometimes I think is the most obvious rule for momentum trading is don't fight the trend. But not just, it's not so much that you don't fight the trend. It's very specific things about the trend that you want to avoid, just to give yourself a little bit of an edge. So I'm going to pull up something which is about as trendy as you can find, and that's going to be Oxy, because oil prices have been going gangbusters, so the strength in that space has been huge. And you can see, look, we're in a very, very clean upward trend. Even with that nice little bearish candle you had at that top, you're still with a nice overall trend. Now, one of the things I'm going to talk about here is when you have a nice consolidation at the top, like you did in Oxy just the last couple of days. You get the wick top, bit of a bearish candle, and then you're trying to consolidate off that top. If you simply look at the fact that it breaks out again on that daily here, breaks this consolidation, all I'm thinking about at that point is, okay, I'm looking for longs, right? Like it's retaking these highs at about 59, and you're really just thinking about going long there. I get it. After it put in that wick top, it would have been a very trendy and nice idea to start fading that level. Okay, it put in a parabolic move up. It's gone too far. Yeah, let's look for fade trades. I do it all the time. It's not a bad plan. But what ends up happening is you consolidate off that pullback. You then grind into a double, triple, quadruple top at that 59, and then suddenly you're breaking out. So you have a trending stock in one sense, you have it consolidating, and once it's breaking out on a higher time frame, that's where you're only really thinking about those longs, right? Until it gets to a pretty big level, you just have to think about, okay, there's multiple reasons it's coming, but do not fight something that is breaking out on the daily or is breaking out on a higher time frame. There are fades to be had on strong stocks or buys to be had on weak stocks, but when you have those types of levels getting broken, sometimes there's only one way to go.
100%. And again, you got the good one there. You got the trade, the momentum there, the scalping, the in and out, the trade, the trend. But I wrote down on my little sticky note, again here, one time, you're not going to be able to read it, but as soon as I heard this is what we're talking about, I wrote down trade duration. So I think that when you're trading into momentum stocks and momentum market, how do you trade these names? How do you momentum trade? I think the best thing to look at is obviously trade duration. And, if you're not following the trend, then you got to get out faster. And I mean, this is a good example for me on Facebook, and it's a losing trade, but I think the example makes a lot of sense. We got in super early, right at 9:30, able to scalp out quickly for $1. Got in again, scalped a little bit out, scalp. But then we started taking 212s, 211s. Why did we take this? Because we like these levels into here. 211s, down here, 210s, things like that. But as soon as we heard some negative news about Facebook and the trend, definitely not our friend here in the morning, we kept fighting these longs. We got out super fast, and that's what I mean about trade duration. As soon as you're long, normally I would have held and tried to look for some lower levels, like down over here, 208. I mean, that held that 208. But we didn't want to hold through this move. Like, how many shares are you going to hold against you? If this is wrong, then it continues to break lower. So I feel like in these markets, trade duration, very key. Another example, where's my NEO trade? Here it is right here. Another example of this. Look how many ins, like short, and look at the rapid outs. Like, we take a lot of shares, and look, I would have loved to hold for these bottoms, but we don't know exactly where it's going to be. So when you have the trend and you have momentum with you, which right here, trend to the downside on NEO, still making higher lows, or sorry, I guess lower highs there, lower high again, starting to make some of these bottoms. You got to get in and out as fast as you can. So for me, it's all about trade duration, and we're doing it again. Short here, holding it for what? Maybe 20 minutes before it gets right back down here, and then getting out, averaging in, waiting for our spots. So look, I'm going to get stopped out here when it comes and breaks this. It's all about, for me, how long you're in these trades. The market is trending with big momentum. You can get caught offside so easily. So for me, watch your trade duration. Nothing wrong with holding something, but make sure that you scalp something out, because the trend can change so fast when the momentum is moving like this.
I love that. And it can be as simple as, if the green prints stop, get out of the trade. That's a momentum trade, right? We want to be in that direction for the time that the momentum is there. So don't swim upstream or against the current, and also watch for those changes in direction, guys. There's a little bit of a help on momentum trading. CYRN, day highs as we speak here, on decent volume as well. Got up to 8 on a volume spike again, guys. So cybersecurity kind of afternoon around here.
Didn't Joe Biden came out and was talking a little bit about cybersecurity, and talking about Joe Byron came out and was talking about that a little bit.
Wow, look at this.
CYR, and another one was IronNet there. We also have, you can check out CrowdStrike. I'm just watching this market come down and talk about what we just did there to trade duration. NEO comes almost stopped out, man. I mean, our stop is right here at 28. So if we almost got stopped out, so it comes back in and we take 14s. Although we're only short 20s, man, take some of these bids, 15s, take some of these bids when they come back down here. The market may crack higher. The momentum right now seems to be to the long side. We broke through, we tested the 50 period again, and now, I mean, there's not much momentum, but if you look at the moves here, everything's short, keeps getting bought. So we'll have to wait to see here if we do take this level out, and then that would be signaling for me anyways, a momentum change. We may, I'm still gonna hold on to Alibaba. I still think that is a short side, but we were talking about momentum, but we're also talking about cybersecurity. Look at CrowdStrike. What a nice move up for Crowd there. There's the move, there's the volume coming in. This is a name that I'd look at. I also like Palo Alto. There's IRNT's another one. You got that CYRN for like a little bit of a low float, lower price stock there for CYRN, but I always go back to CrowdStrike. I really like this name. They beat off earnings the other day, and you could see it was in This have been this day down here. I can't remember exactly the day, but we ended the day around 196. So I feel like it's right around here. Nice move up to 204, back down. That 196 seems to be a little bit of a floor. So I'm looking at CrowdStrike anytime we dip down to 196.
Yeah, and look, I like Palo Alto too, and I think we're a trading show, right? So the context to me of CYRN is that it's up 28%, doing tons of volume, and that's what it's all about. You know, and certainly the stocks to hold, the stocks to trade. Someone in the chat asked me if what I like for swings in oil or owning in oil. Like I'm trading Oxy, but for myself, I don't trade the Chevron because I like the stability in that stock. But there's no doubting the momentum. I just want to pull up CYRN so you can see this sort of $9 level that's sticking out here, but not. And this is what we call about like $9 into 10 here. But what's more important, I think, right now, as it's trying to churn through $8, is the last time it got to this $8 level, it did make a couple of breaks before putting in that 450 low. So, clearly this battle that I think is happening at $8 might take a little time to sort itself out. And just because it's broken 8, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be gone. If anything, I think the fact that it's going to hold up in this range, if it reclaims the south side of the trade, I think it could be a bit of a short. And speaking of that, which is shorts, Mullen's really weak, right? So it put in that bid at 280, but has been unable to get past like 312 here. And now I'm starting to feel like what we had as morning support, this 330 to 340 area, specifically 35 entries, if we get back to that range, and I feel like Mullen's going to be a fade. Like I want to be selling that, just given the way they're rug pulling the stock and a lot of others. And as we mentioned, look, the sympathy shorts, I wish I was in it, but I had gotten out of NRSN. When Mullen started to go, there's NRSN as well. These low floaters just pulling back one after the rug pull in Mullen. So you've always got to be very careful. And I did not short YMTX. I know that's one some other people were looking at. I see you guys in the chat talking about it, but obviously there's a lot that has gone up quite a bit, and when there's blood in the water, people like to take that profit. If you're long at $2 in NRSN and it's sitting there at $7 and you just saw the rug pull on Mullen, yeah, I'm thinking you might consider taking your profit there. And it's still bullish. Look at the chart, right? But at the same time, hey, if you don't ever take profit, you don't actually make any money holding the stock. I mean, it's not like NRSN's paying you a dividend, right?
What?
I mean, okay, I guess it's not impossible that they would in the future, but I'm going to guess the stock isn't paying a dividend.
I'm going to guess that as well. Okay, we are one more time. Let's see where we go now with NIO. We took it again right now. This is just a 1 minute chart. I mean, it may take this out. If it does, we're gone. I mean, it's just that simple, that easy. Good reload opportunity here. Short 20s, and well, we're actually short 19.5 right now. One was a 21 and one was a 19, so we'll take the 19. Actually, I guess it was a 20 and a 19, giving us 21.5 right now. So look at the risk to reward, right? That's 27s. So we're going to risk 8 cents to the upside here. We'll take a first piece out if we can grab 8 cents, which would be down here, right where this 50 period is. So we're going to put a bid right now near 2012, put it out for 20%. And then if we start cracking lower, then that's when the ratio just becomes cash money. And we'll go, yeah, for that one. And we'll see where we go. So that's that reload. People see me hold BBIG. Like I tried to get more shares once I saw this bottom, but unfortunately I didn't market it in. So yeah, BBIG is the exact same trade. We only reloaded one time right here, and we were able to get it out at 9s and 10s. That's a reload off 02. So you can see my average price now is 03 off of majority of these trades. All we've done is win on BBIG today, but I mean, I could take it out now. We don't have a full position on. We're looking to get more off of that bottom, but we've cracked a 3. I don't know if that's real. I mean, why wouldn't it be, I guess, at this point, these 3 trades, but it probably did go back up to 3 here on, wow, Mullen right now moving a little bit. Mullen up now 10, 20% in the last 10 minutes. So maybe Mullen's returned to some strength there. But I want to see if did BBIG hit those $3? Let me just check it on eSignal. Right, no, it didn't. So
I didn't think so.
We didn't hit 3. So if we can get to 298, that looks legit on eSignal right now. So up to 298, we'll take a little. Well, I mean, I like to make money on this trade, so I think let's just wait to see. Maybe BBIG gets the Mullen treatment, but when that would be down, but we'd like it to go the other way. So let's wait to see here. 305. I mean, that's a top. I'm not excited about this BBIG trade. Vinco Ventures was on our radar early for good reason. We took some nice profits, man. I mean, my best fill is 326 today off of some of these levels. So we're holding this. It's not really doing anything to our net. We would like to get more shares down here. I do have a bid, just so you know, at 86, which is literally into here against this bottom of 82. So we'll take an 86 fill if it comes in. But other than that, BBIG will wait and rest on our laurels with that one. As right now, man, and again, another big ratio trade. 103.40 is our short, right? Where's our out? Right here, 77. So that's 40 cents worth of risk. We're already in the money now on this name, 70 cents on Alibaba. So we're going to hope to get another print down here, 102.50. Then after that, let's let the, actually, I'm not even bidding there. I was going to say, let's let the collapse happen. I do have a bid as I look over here at 102 teens. So we'll see if we get a bid down here to 102 teens, making this another $1 plus win for Alibaba. I mean, look, it could happen. The last time we shorted this level, 103.20, our best out is 101.45. So that's almost $2. So let's see if Baba has its legs to the downside here, 102.20 or so for Alibaba.
Yeah, I did just get into that CYRN. You'll see it sort of pop up there. It retook that 8 even, bit of a battle between 80s and 90s. I just jumped back into the, well, not back into, just jumped into the short at 784 there, you'll see. Close enough to 85. But Mullen is, like Sean said, big time bounce off of Friday afternoon highs. And now you're right back trying to take out Friday tops. Support that was this morning from 320 to 335 comes into play. The way that it fell, to me, I'm going to short this level if it comes back into it. Just given how big that rug pull was, I feel my first look when it gets into that price range is going to be to try to fade it. The overall market's starting to come back a little bit here, so just sort of watch out like these futures start to drop. And I don't know, it's kind of old hat. I've been waiting for a firm to make this break. You can see it consolidating up here, and it's been super strong. So I don't really want this against the grain today. What I'd like to see is the market pull back and try and retest the lows. If it does do that, then I'd rather see a firm breaking one of these bottoms. And on the 15-minute chart, this is at 41.80 level. So it's not there yet, but that's the way that I want to play it. A lot of times I'd be looking to try to find the top. That chance was missed. Look at that wick top through 44. Usually you get a wick candle like that, and I'm short right around here, but I wasn't able to catch a firm today. I'm looking for a breakdown at 41.80. Of course, if that somehow happens as the market's testing the top, I wouldn't want it, but I can't see that happening.
Okay, so another one, bang, right there as NEO starting to come to the downside. Unfortunately, it bounced too many times off 15, so we are still waiting for 12s. But I don't know. We took a 15 for 10%. We'll take a 12 for the other. I think I put 20% down there, like I said, near 12. And then hopefully we crack lower. I mean, look at Alibaba. Look at Alibaba right now, 70 cents in the money. But what I was more talking about was the futures looked like they were cracking below the 50 period there, and then all of a sudden stop and retrace back upside. So that's enough of an indicator for me to start taking out. And again, it's only 5 cents, but I mean, I'm going to try to follow the same rules that I was using before, where we talked about trying to scalp back and forth there. So that's a name that we're looking to do that on with NEO. I still hope we get those 12s. If the futures break lower, I mean, we're only 2 pennies away, then we probably get those 12s. And I think really 20 flat would be great on this name. What's up to Tease Trades? Thank you for your kind words there. You've reloaded a couple times on AMD, you said today. So let's see if there is any reload opportunities for AMD. This is a 20-minute chart. I'll look at that after when I find some levels. But here's AMD so far today. We could have a quick look. Let's just zoom out a little bit here, or zoom in, I guess, and have a look. We are trying to take out this 50 period and VWAP. So yeah, I kind of like this short through 115. If we can get down, we just tested 115 and bounced. So there may be some strength. I mean, AMD's up today when the market is down. So this is not really a name that I'm going to look to short. Tease Trades or whoever else is out there looking at AMD. I would, if anything, look for a long off these levels. So for me, AMD's a long here at 114.80. The only problem is, it's not a problem. It's just I can go long one and short the other. It's just we are short Baba and NEO that I know will move with the futures. So if this can come back in, I think I'm going to put a bid down here. Let's just test it. Like if we can get a bid into here for AMD around 115 flat and use this 114.80, that's not much of a shutdown on this stock. But, you know, again, maybe, yeah, 115.10, something like that ahead of the 50 period. I am thinking the NASDAQ's coming down, so don't take that trade. I mean, if I take it, I'll let you know. But for me, I'm going to hold on to the short. I really think the NASDAQ, after what Powell said today, I'm surprised it's not down a lot more. I mean, he talked about, and maybe Brendan can review that story, but because it's gone on my news board here. But just talking about the market coming through and this move downside, talking about inflation, talking about cutting more, raising more, and then we have PPI, CPI, all that jazz, and then some worry about the Russian war. I guess it's a war at this point, but talking about some concern there. So I think I'd rather stay short. But if you're long market right now and you think this market's going to rip a little bit, I'll stamp AMD. Even right now, man, this name should run up. It's just for now, I'm bearish. So I'm not going to take the long.
Yeah, it's hard not to be. Like, when you see the market, the way it reversed off of Jerome, we saw what happened when he moved the markets to the upside, right? Like, if something he says moves it down, you almost have to be respecting that to a certain degree. I just tried to get Mullen. Finally got it there. Just got 23s. It made a top, not quite at that 35, but just made a top at 27. Tried to break 25s, got back below it, and then was able to get some 23s in here. And we'll see what happens. It looks like it's rolling over a bit. And I do see CVX. It's been brought up a couple of times. I forget who it was saying that it wasn't going to break or might not break 165. It's a good level, but it can take that level and still be a good short. It did so this morning. So I don't know that an even dollar stop is what I would put on. And to the person that said CYRN, don't go they don't want to go long because I went to the short side. Keep in mind, consolidation levels like this are good in either direction. As long as you have an out. Like, to me, I like the consolidation short, and if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But if you're in the long and you want to just give it the same consolidation, right, like it's breaking either direction. I think the path of least resistance is for it to fall when it's gone like $6 to $8. Once it's at a certain point to the upside, it's just like that's too far for me to love the long setups. That's just the way I choose to play it. But the same way, like any level that's good out for a short side trader is usually a pretty good entry point for a long. Like, someone's got to lose in that spot, but it just gives you an opportunity to try to be disciplined. Brendo?
Just be aware, guys, on the overall market, there are some headlines floating around regarding Belarus and the possibility of something happening there with Ukraine. So the market trying to roll over once again.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what, there it goes. I mean, we saw the market starting to move a little bit there, and I was watching Tesla, as a matter of fact, Ms. V's favorite stock, start to, load up. There we go. Just broke VWAP, started coming into the downside. Of course, it's when I take Mullen. I noticed that the stock that I wanted to the south side, look at that, like a firm not really breaking down. Doesn't seem to want to take that 41.8 level. So the weakness, not necessarily as big as I would like to see. If you're still watching that, oh goodness, I keep typing NESN, and I know why, because that's like whatever. It's a sports network, but NRSN is the one I kind of mean here. Still not really falling. So with that Mullen recovery, of the names, the three I'm looking at, NRSN, this one looks the strongest. I'm also in that CNN. That still looks relatively weak. It's down around VWAP. At this point, I'm just holding to see if it can break that 220, get back down to 205. And Mullen, which we just got into, started to break down, but tried to hold 17s. I'll pop some bids just because if you've seen the way that this has come down several times here, like you have these capitulation candles. I want to get picked up if it does this. So the way I see it is like just have some bids out there. In case it does one of those big spike down and then catches a bit of a bid really quickly, you just have your outs in place so that you can take some profit on the way to the downside there. So just shorting the pops, that's the way that I want to play this Mullen trade. And one of the other big names I think that we're looking at that has a chance to give it up, well, we'll see. It already gave it up earlier, but a chance to roll over even further. And this is what I was kind of hoping a firm would do, what GameStop just did at 94, which is break its afternoon support. It's already given up the $100 level. I think if this one tries to pop into 95, 95 half, that'd be something I'd look to fade in if I don't get a firm. Definitely one that I could start to watch. But like you said, AMD was strong. The other side of that coin, if you're watching the chip space,
but I wanted to short it.
No, I was gonna say, like Nvidia, I don't know if AMD broke VWAP there. Yeah, Nvidia just put in a big candle to the downside. It just broke VWAP. But a lot of names, as Brendan just mentioned, just started to head back to the south side. So I'm really just looking for shorts, short the pops, and that's the play.
Oh man, it's like AMD, we were just talking about it, and that we like to short, but it doesn't matter because bang, there it is, Alibaba, $1 in the money as we go to the downside here for Alibaba. I didn't think this would happen this fast, but we are right into this area, and I am bidding. I talked about where we'd be bidding this, 102 teens, well, we upped it to 102 20s. So let's see if we can get into this. Alibaba just rockets all the way down. And if I tell you the price I'm bidding, you're not going to believe it, but it stops here at 102.25. I'm at 102.22. Why did I do that? Because 2. Like, if that's not stupid, then I don't know what is. But we'll still in the money.
Pick a price.
We're in the money $1. Yeah, I mean, I just randomly, I was like, if Alibaba comes down, then I'll get it. I wanted 102.20 something, so I said, why not 102.22? So that's what we doing. That's what we did, and now we're short at 103.37. So hey, look, man, we're $1 plus in the money, and now $1.10 in the money. We'll see. The price obviously irrelevant, but come on, let's go down to 102.222 right now as we speak. So Alibaba, dead. Screw you, Alibaba. I may switch this up right now and put it right here on the bid. Just crack one more trade down. We went to 102.32 right now, so a little bit of a move down here for Alibaba, and we should be out of that trade. There it is, out of Alibaba, 1/2 of what's left. Man, that bubble has popped, and bang, there it is. We take that right with you guys. So, I mean, if you're joining us for trading, welcome to the jungle. Your boy put on 2 big trades for you right here. Alibaba, we put on that trade for you. Nice move, man. There's $1.20 for you on Alibaba. And, woohoo, look at NEO right now to the downside. We also put this trade on for you. And we just got, as we went over, we loaded up our drink right here, and we just take out some cash money right there on NEO, 2020s, out 2002, out 20 flat right there as NEO comes to the downside. That's one job. I mean, these are back to back. This is one. This is since 2 o'clock. 1 reload, 2 reload, 3 reloads. Our new earpieces are in the building right now. Here, I'll show it on the screen. Why not? So we've upped our game here. We're into the Sonys now. So hopefully these are now higher quality earpieces. So there it is.
Hopefully.
10 hours. Plus battery life. So thank you.
As if either of us can't name the brand we're currently using. So I'm pretty sure.
I can MPOW.
Is that what it is? Okay, whatever. So the Sony is an upgrade. I mean, come on. If the Sony is an upgrade, what are we talking about? Thank you. Thank you very much there, Rob. But as things continue to roll over, we got to do these. Like, not going to fight it on Mullen. We talked about this. Thank you, Rob. We talked about going into the short and fading these. So we just curl up that 25. Going to be on the bid for more shares in front of 3. We talked about why we're going to get those longs. Why are we not short Why are we not short Boeing? Bo says.
Bo knows Boeing.
Oh my goodness. The fact that Pratt didn't know, you know what? I shouldn't even say that because Pratt didn't know who Bo Jackson was. And I was like, man, it's a generational thing. Bo was like a legend.
No, but Pratt doesn't know who Mike Trout is.
Yeah, but that's different.
What, but not generation. You just said generation.
Actually, that's a good point.
Literally, one of the best players of MLB all time, and I mean, is during Pratt's generation. Pratt, do you know who Mike Trout is? He's listening to some jams right now, but he does not. No, he does not. Pratt,
he's spitting bars right now.
Yo, you know who Mike Trout is? No, see, there you go.
No word of lie. He had the headphones on.
Yeah,
and he was like, he was jamming there.
I was just trying to prove a point about the Mike Trout, but
we actually talked. I think we talked about in the rundown why we're not short. Well, I'm not short Boeing. It's simple. Like, didn't come to the level I wanted. I wanted to short 190. That's where I would tell myself if I'm short in front of that price and it breaks, support late in the week. Support Friday, resistance Wednesday and Thursday. If it breaks that level, I know I'm wrong. I mean, if I short it here, what am I doing? Holding it all the way to 90? I don't like that trade. So that's the only reason I'm not short it at that particular price or at any price on Boeing. I'm sure there's opportunities. I know the market's coming down, but there's definitely, you have to have a reason for getting in, and you have to like your trade, and you have to have it out. Like, and that's the other thing. We were asked, someone had put early in the show today, like, what's, sort of how do you manage multiple positions? Well, A, you can use stop orders. But B, if you know where you're getting out, like if you know where wrong is on the stock, and it's a lot easier to monitor it because then as it moves away from that price, you're worried about taking profit, you can already have a stop out, you can set an alert, and then you can move on to the next thing because you've determined that. So suddenly if it starts going against you or running to that price, you're not worried because that's what you told yourself you were risking in the first place. So it's not that kind of a cause for concern. Now, you can be managing your position, and I'm going to get to that right here with Sen. At some point, when something is this strong momentum-wise, usually when I'm taking this short, holds pre-market lows. Remember we talk about this all the time? If a stock tries to break out early in the morning and then gives one of those failures, but then holds the pre-market low, it's usually good for a mid to late day rally. Ooh, whoops, probably should have had sent on that break because it did exactly that setup. That is a great setup, by the way. It breaks, went to 250. I did try the second time at that level, but this is not just a VWAP retracement. At this point, it's also that 220 support that got put in. So I'm liking to see, I just want to see if we can break this, but at some point I'll have to give it up and take the profit that it wants to give me. This is not a Mullen situation where the stock is capitulated and turned into a downward trend. You know, CNN is definitely still in an upward trend, and I'm being a little bit greedy here by trying to actually catch like 303, forget it. I'll just take 308 right here. We'll do a bit of a backflip. And I'm more happy about this because when I came in today thinking long in Mullen, and we went long multiple times off the open. And on the way down, my first thought was go back to the well for the same thing. But you know what? Things changed when that broke down. And I should have recognized it. If not here, I definitely should have recognized that there. But at least we finally got ourselves into the short position, which is clearly what you need to be over in Mullen.
All right, yeah, good trade there on Mullen, obviously. Okay, so yeah, someone, shout out to Henry there, was talking about I should wear my Alex Karp jersey. No one would know who that is in this whole chat except for probably me and Henry, but it's the CEO of Palantir. So the only thing that
I see him all the time.
I know, but honestly, like I mean, I didn't even when he said it, I was like, what the hell? This is the only Palantir merchandise I have, and this is from Trader Pratt. Over there.
But isn't he selling his shares?
I don't know. So yeah, he's selling Palantir shares because they helped someone win F1.
No, not somebody. Ferrari.
Ferrari, yeah.
Pratt hates Ferrari.
Yeah. And so he's selling a company that helped someone win. So that makes a lot of sense to sell a company making changes. But okay, so there it is anyways. And look, we were short Palantir. Unfortunately, we got taken out there. And then we went long because we had too many shares. Then we got out. So just back and forth there. I didn't even realize it on Palantir that we got out. Well, I realized we got out, but I didn't realize we went long. Or I would have scalped it out right there. Palantir continues, unfortunately, no matter how much of a fan of Palantir we are, which we are. Again, in this environment, it's not good. So, Palantir, we hit that short. Great money-making opportunity. If we didn't have that in there, we would still be short. But again, it was a break of this level right there of the support, and I guess I would have used 1260 there as support. So there's the out at 1261. Palantir may be good for a reload to the long side, but we're still celebrating some of these shorts. And when NEO went to the downside, this is where we just start to cash out, man. O2s, O's, nice little trade there for NIO. We'll look to get long on something now. What about Microsoft? We're into the power hour right now, so I don't want to give anything back. I'm at the highest spot I've been at all day today. Right now, off of that BOVESPA short, we just took $1.20 on that. I don't know if we're doing work over there, but I've just lost internet over here. So if there's any computers doing any work, maybe they're slowing it down. But Microsoft right now, if we take the 50 period again on the futures, I'm wondering about a higher move up here to 14,340. So let's see if that happens there. We got to take that out. And if we do, then I definitely want to get long Microsoft because I think this is a quick scalp. 297 in, definitely out at VWAP at 50, and then possibly out to 298 to take out those highs. If the market rallies into the close, Microsoft will take off. That is 100% for reals. So let's do this, man. 297 take on Softy. We want to be long. So let's go long Microsoft on a 297 break. And then maybe, I don't even know if we want to hold it all the way back down here. That seems too dangerous. Maybe 296.70 or so on Microsoft. But we're not there yet. Needs to take out 297. Brendo.
XN starting to go again, guys. We just got back above 7. Straight through to almost 750. So remember that low float, crazy stock. More volume coming back in.
Worth noting, though, so the last price that it turned around, and I know because I was short this level, was the 750 area. So it's a lower high. $8 was the failed break on this name. And if you sort of pull back, like you're in uncharted territory, obviously, once you've made this breakout. And that's worth mentioning. So like the even dollars tend to be psychological and then end up mattering. So $8 does stand out, but 750 that's the level I'll be looking to try a bit of a fade. I'd like to see it consolidate because last time it got to this price, it went sideways for 5 minutes and I got shaken out of the trade. So I'd rather see it go sideways off this level and then be able to make the fade. I did get into a firm at 41.80. My stop is at the 2.25. So risking about 50 cents on the trade. Just looking to see if the market will break down once again. And that's what it's all about. Will the market break down? Mullen, I'm looking for a chance to reload this. If it wants to give me 325, in and around there's the actual price I want. I do want to be covering this before we get back to that 280 level that has been a pretty strong level for MULN, and I do think that can continue to be the truth. We'll see what happens with it, though. We talked about AMD and NVIDIA a little bit, but I didn't talk about Micron, so I'll go back over that. I tried shorting Micron at that 77, and then I mentioned there was a 250,000 buyer, so I put a tight stop in on it. 250,000 buyer at 77 even, and I was short right here at VWAP. It did make a small move to the upside, but I guess it then broke back down. So that buyer likely gone. I don't see him on level 2 anymore, obviously, because it's now below 77. But it feels like that could be resistance once again on Micron. So it's a trade that I should have maybe waited for that guy to get broken or for it to retest that level. I did not. Now I'm going to jump right back in on this consolidation. I can use VWAP once again, but that's a stock that I wanted because it was relatively weak. But sometimes you can just run into something there. And definitely ran into a bit of a buyer in Micron at that 77 level. Now that it's below, a little bit of a safer notion to take the trade.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Oh, I got to do this. I said I got you, Byron. What's up? Cheech and Chong, he said, when I said something about being high up there on Palantir, Neo, or whatever it was. But there it is for you. And we'll do it's coming back in. Oh, okay. Alibaba, talking about coming back in here. Alibaba, what a great out that was, it looks like. Anyways, 102.30 down to the downside. Wow. We talked about that as it was falling down. And that's why, man, if you go back to what we talked about earlier, how to trade in this environment. And that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm holding on to a piece of Alibaba. Like this is literally, this was out of, I mean, the math doesn't make sense because right now I have 20% left, but anyways, we take another piece out there and we're going to try to hold for that move back down in. But again, it's about scalping quickly, playing the momentum. And when you look at this, that's 103.40, right? These outs is 102.80, 102.70. So these outs are still like 70, 80 cents. It's just, holding for that $1.20. We actually wound up getting it there. And now we're going to wait for an upside move in BABA. And we're going to look to see if it takes this level out right here, 103.77. Oh, we just got into more shares of Neo. So right now, Neo starting to rip to the high side. Look at the futures now taking those levels out. We may want to regroup here. So this was the key. Neo reloaded right here at VWAP. That was fine, but we are still respecting this high of 27. We take that out, we're gone. We'll reload that as the futures come back in. We want to be, remember, the futures down 1%. We want to be short names that we don't believe in. And it's not, again, sorry, I should restate that for the day. I don't know where Neo's going. Neil and I need to be need to be out of all of our shorts, longs, whatever it is, by 4 o'clock. So I'm just going to play a little bit of momentum here, see what happens. But you're starting to break up higher. There was, I wanted Microsoft on a break. So Neo looks like we'll get out of Neo, but we probably missed Microsoft already.
Yeah, I just took out a firm, which is relatively strong. I'll still be in Micron. To the south side of the trade. And I just got back into Mullen, as that got back to that 25 area that we liked. Now keep in mind that morning support was at 335 or so, and that's where the initial curl happened when the rug pull, if you want to call it that, for lack of a better term, happened at about 360. So this is the price area, that 335 to 340. Where that's that last sort of line in the sand type of notion is. And as the market comes back up, I start thinking about what was that other name? Oh, I keep typing NESN. It's just, ugh. I forget what sport network that is. I know it's a network, but it's in my head.
It's New England.
It's that's what it is, because I watch like Red Sox games. Okay, that's okay. Not that I'm a fan of the Red Sox.
NESN.
But they play the Jays, so
yes, they do play the Jays.
But yeah, that one I was looking to see that 750. You get the consolidation here. But now I'd be chasing it. So I was kind of hoping that push up in the market would be giving me some fills tight to that 750. I don't want to chase it, but if we get a little bit higher, we'll see if we can't get back into this one to that south side of the trade. Going back over, because I was just talking about Mullen possibly consolidating again at 335. I wanted to go either sideways or put a curl in where I can short it off of recently made high and then add to my position. That's the only way I want to be getting into this one for more shares. And then just to go back over to... I haven't got into Tesla yet, but I was like this for a bit of a barometer. when the market is strong, and it's relatively strong, creeping back above VWAP, right? So you're seeing this market go mostly, I want to call it sideways, but obviously since Jerome Powell, we had that bounce to the downside. We actually were able to hold 14.2, but you've been in a relatively tight range. However, it is, and I'll zoom it in so you can see this maybe a little bit better. What it's trying to do right now is sort of get back to what were those sort of overnight bottoms, very, very early in the session. And if that turns into resistance, this gets pretty bearish, I think, for the rest of the day. That's about 14.3 and change on the NASDAQ futures, which is the ones I usually tend to watch, because if we're trading mostly tech names, like I'm in Micron and I was in trading a firm, you're going to care more about what the NASDAQ's doing. But if I was, I'm not trading Boeing at this particular moment, so we're always going to look at those NASDAQ futures.
Yeah, that's what I'm spending my time with right here is the NASDAQ futures. All right, so look, it's either gonna, I look at this and I think I hate when I do this, but I'm doing it on purpose right now where we're long and short. Basically, we're long softy, and again, it's about share sizes. So we're long softy right now. I like this play as we're above VWAP. I think we can get going. We will scalp a little piece out here if we can get something. We're long at O's, so we'll see about a piece up, into the teens, which is actually we're waiting at 19. So we can see if we can get a move up. That high wick right there is 25. So if we can get a move up here for softy, it should be a good trade for us. But at the same time, we have dug in a little bit to NIO. So I'm kind of torn between all this. But let's just see where the market goes, and let's go over to Brendan quickly.
Just noticing, guys, in electronic trading, oil day highs, 7.4% now. Here's another one, AYRO. So there's AYRO, there's CENN, and there's Mullen, all electric vehicle makers. So AYRO and CENN, both on the commercial side, so they make forklifts and delivery trucks and things like that. But all the little ones, if you have EV in your name, are starting to go.
Oh, they get those sympathy runs, right? That's what we always sort of talk about. And, obviously, like we said, when one starts to go, they can all start to go.
Holy
but just be
shnikes.
careful. Yeah, that was just a big spike. You see that spike in the
Okay.
future? I was just watching this NRGV because someone put it in the chat. And then at that same moment, oh, come on.
I see you, Microsoft. I see you.
Yeah, at that same moment, there was a big spike back through 77 on Micron. We also then retook that level I was just talking about in the futures, which is breaking right through that morning, support level, now potential resistance. But once it broke out, then the big cap name, I don't want to be in it anymore. And that's why you sort of take it off. Now, Mullen, I don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care. It's just the market can go up, and Mullen's got its own story here. That's why it's a little bit different. I'm not just going to run to the exit when we break a level on the NASDAQ, but I'll do it over in Micron. So we get that consolidation on Mullen. I was able to get more shares there at 30s. Now remember, if we get above, it's about 340, 343, this level in here. You get above that, where we tried that initial long in consolidation. I think you're probably just headed towards VWAP, so there's no need to hold it past that level. I think you get out, or at least I get out anyways, and then look back towards not just VWAP, but what would be a 360 level. And as I said, after I see capitulation candles like that, I'm generally going to want to only go one direction. And CYRN, still going, by the way. So someone was saying they didn't want to take that long. I'm telling you, if it's a good level where people like the short, that just means more momentum when the shorts get stuck. Now, if you try to hold on to a short like this, you get absolutely spanked. But it's only even dollars I'm looking for to play the fade, because it's gone too far for me to like the long. $9, that'll be the next one. We'll see about 10 if it can get there. But these cybersecurity names on the run. CrowdStrike's going to be breaking out too, because look at them all go.
Yeah, we tried to go short again on NEO there, but busted out at 2030. So I don't know. I almost feel like it's still short here, NEO. So I don't know. We're out of it all, but I'm trying to get more here into that level. I'm going to give it up to 2035 here on NEO. Unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a mess. If it does break higher, then we will, get hit on this. But we'll short that. But you know what? 99 problem stocks honestly ain't one. As Microsoft right now, we just put that trade on for you and ripped it to the high side there. Our best out's 57, so out 20, 40, 60, still holding a little piece now as we come back in. We did not get the reload, though, on BABA. We tried, man. We were at 40s there into BABA. Same level we got before, but it only ripped as high as 31 there for Alibaba. So no love on that trade. Microsoft coming back in. Maybe I'll just take a piece out of Microsoft right now. Again, we already hit that to the upside, and I don't need to hold anything for a hero trade. We've already made a couple Hero trades today. Shout out to Miss V on that one as we go. There we go. A nice little move to the upside. There we go, Softy. So there, another piece out at 30 there as we're starting to go. Our average price on Softy, $296.90. It's 40 cents in the money right now and starting to go. And Neo did come back. Let's take out a piece of Neo here. Wow, that came back a little faster than we thought there. All right, so now it's not so bad anymore. I don't know why Neo's falling a little bit here, but there's the reload on the short. We did get stopped out twice there, but we have reloaded it. And again, you see the market coming back down here. Look at crude. Crude closed 230, remember, but NYMEX, there's the close at NYMEX, Chicago, but still trading electronically right now through to 111 and change. So you could see oil starting to go here as, I don't know what's going on, but we just take a nice little bid there out on NIO to the short side. So we kind of got, we lost there obviously on some of these shorts, but we did reload it. Let's see if we get back to view up. Otherwise, we're out on this break of 33 for NIO, but there it is. We did get stopped out, but we're back in. Futures didn't withhold that move. So, we clean up on Softy, clean up on aisle 10, and then we'll see what happens here with NIO to the downside.
Yeah, I just tried to CYRN at $9. It was trying to curl. It got to like $8.90. A shorted 87s in there, and then it took out 9. So keep the stop a little bit tighter as it continues to go. $10 could be the next level. It's screaming into it right now. So the faster it goes in a break to a level like 10, the more interesting it definitely gets. And there was a question just now. Do we trade if the market is suspended for the entire session? If the U.S. has a holiday, then obviously the market's not open, we don't trade. But suspended, I'm not sure what you mean by that term. So, but yeah, only a market holiday where the NASDAQ, New York, U.S. markets are actually closed. That's the only time we're not here. I mean, the Canadian markets can have a holiday, but if U.S. is open, that's what we trade, and we're going to be here for you guys.
Oh, hells to the yeah. Yeah, it should be a good one there. Look at Neo. Let's go, Neo. Nice little fall back down here. So that's a good trade for us. Back to the downside. We'll take it. Okay, there we go. I just punched out at 20. I hate when I punch out there. But now we still have half on board. So, and again, we did take out half here. No, what I'm talking about, a third of it. 1, 2, 3. So a third out of Neo here. And now we'll wait to see where the downside move goes. I'm going to hold the rest of this as the market did say a little dipsy-do up there and then just came right back down in. So we took advantage of that. Oh, and again, all we're doing, guys, is Johnny Fat stacks. We're just stacking them up right now. Like, I mean, that's it. We hit Microsoft. We hit it. We quit that. And now it's gone, man. Big trade there on Microsoft, upside out, and now we're flushed out of it. Now we don't have to worry as Microsoft, again, another very, very positive name for me today. Neo's is my #1 symbol today. Obviously, we've talked about just destroying this short until just now where we did get out of that. We did talk about it. Now we're going to hold this back up to the high of the day. What else do we want to talk about here, guys? Facebook. That's another name here. What haven't we looked at much today? Let's check out AMD. I mean, that's a pretty popular name for a lot of you guys out there. I talked about hitting the short through this 115. Unfortunately, we were unclear of what the market wanted to do, but that's a big move to the downside. And again, the reason why you're not going to see any trades, not the reason why, but it's not really trading in line with the market. And I don't really like those names. AMD up 1.2%, the market down 0.9, so there's about 2% difference there. To me, I haven't done enough research on why that would be. If you can get a short into here for AMD, though, 115.60 would be my out. So if you're short into AMD, I like this 115.60 as an out. That's the same kind of level that I like for a long. It's just right now we only have 40 minutes left in the market, and we got to be flat. So unless there's a dramatic move happening, BBIG, hello BBIG, spin it. It's taking off to the upside right now. BBIG finally putting me back into a profit area here. BBIG, nothing but love. Brendo, quickly.
Lines there, guys. Nothing major at this point, but data storage. So along the lines of YRN, but even smaller float. 4 million on the float on this one. DTST. We've traded this before. Just a heads up. This one's starting to go now.
I was focused and then banged my because I took the short in front of 10 on CYR, and I think I might know what happened here because I then tried to get it short when it chased through 10, and I tried to punch the short because it was a failed break to the upside. And I probably still had an order out when I tried to hit it the second time because you got to pay for locates. So if you have it's not just whether you have the shares or not. Like if you pay for shorts, you can be in position and then be using them up. But if you have an order out, that also counts, right? So I probably hit the key twice and need to cancel the first one. But there's that turn at $10. I should have had it, but it was not quite fast enough to be able to catch it. That's why I was sort of staring at this stock, is when it turned at 10, that's the move you want to have. And again, you take the pot shot here, the pot shot here. If you're going against the grain, really you need to capture that trade. That's why it can be frustrating, because if you're trying to get these little bit turnarounds, you're taking the tight stop, but it's so you can get that first 50-cent scalp and then hold on to it to see if you can run $1.50 on the move. That's why you're trying to catch that top. Now, maybe it retests 10 even and I can get back into it, but that's a missed opportunity big time. And I know better. Like if you punch and miss when it makes a failed break like that, the first keystroke should be to cancel your existing order and then try to hit it again. I didn't do that, unfortunately. Mullen is starting to come back in. I got bids for this curl all the way, most of them are in front of that 310, and then I'll hold on to some back down to that 3 even. So again, shorting the pop on Mullen. It's been working, ever since this flush. I just didn't get involved in the trade, until I stopped going into the long side of it. I'm going to continue to hold on to that Sen. As long as it's below 250, I will maintain the short. I'm thinking it's going to break that 220 level, but Mullen does bear taking some profit out there. And then, of course, I'm not going to be taking my eyes too far away from that CYRN, because nothing is moving quite as rapidly as that stock, and that 10 was a monster level.
Okay, yeah, Mullen, big time there. And we were lucky enough to kind of go, whoa, 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 because Mullen, BBIG, too many names here, BBIG, and someone said, how can you possibly trade 2 or 3 names at once? Well, how about 4 or 5 names at once and host the show? But Neil and I, obviously, with all that training that we received, we're very much
broadcasting
professional now at this. But yeah, lack of training maybe is what we should say. But we don't need training. It's like Allen Iverson, practice. We talk about practice.
AI, baby.
Yeah, our practice is real life, baby. Right now, BBIG, there it goes, all the way up to 304. And we did take a piece out there. I said, we're finally back into the money. Yeah, 1 cent here for BBIG. But hey, we held this against us. Unfortunately, we didn't get that reload. We were literally on this bid here. I still have the bid in, 86. I mean, I have the bid in. We just never got filled down here because we put it in too late. I didn't realize this dump, and then once it came back in, instead of just marketing in, I was waiting for it, thinking that we would get it off the bid. I mean, 75 million shares, but we didn't. It doesn't matter, spilled milk. We're going to wait now. My next offer is up here at 08 for a real winner, and then hopefully, if it wants to go here, Vinco Ventures, we've seen it do this before. We have that 350 target. That's not the target today, but that's just what we're looking at. All right, Alibaba comes all the way back up. I'm close to just saying, let's just wrap this up with Alibaba, because honestly, I'm very, very close to getting this short, and then we have one more trade. But the problem is that this market right now, it's resisting the downward move. So, I'm not a little less excited right here as we were before when we started to head to the downside, thinking that we could test these lows. I don't know if that's going to happen today now. So we only have 30 minutes left, plus we have the imbalances coming out. I'm very, very hesitant to take this Alibaba trade. So I think we'll probably cancel it. We're already on, it's still in there right now. We're already on NIO, and we did clean this one up. We talked about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're out of half of our Alibaba trade, our NEO trade to the downside after getting hit, shorting this top, right? Here it goes, it's gonna blow out again. So if it takes out 33s, we're out. But that's NEO right now to the top side. I'm feeling like Alibaba, we should probably cancel this trade. So let's do that. Let's just cancel our Alibaba trade and just get out. If it takes out this high right here, we're just gonna I'm not even gonna wait for this. If it just takes it out, actually, you know what, man, maybe I'll wait for it. What is that wick? 103.60, let's wait for that. If that comes out, then we'll take it in, but other than that, man, we're not gonna average into Alibaba.
And look, I'm going to still try the CYRM, but this is what I mean about getting frustrated, because that's the move you're trying to capture, this $10 back in. It goes right to 9 even, and it's trying to bounce. So now that 10 has been established as a bit of a level here, as it gets towards this 50 area, ideally 70, 75s would be the play. Looks like there might be a bit of an iceberg order at 950. If it breaks that, I'll try to grab a 975. Of course, if it doesn't break, I don't want to be chasing this thing too far away from what I think is going to be that that out, right? Like to me, 10 is where I know that I'm wrong. It keeps running that stop, and you don't mind making a top wick up there because at least that's a justifiable level. But CYRN is still going to be firmly on my radar. If it gets any more of a bounce, I think we're going to get into this one. I keep seeing Frank, you're talking about CrowdStrike. So what's interesting is Crowd. Is it it's CWRD? You're not talking about CrowdStrike. Okay, so never mind that. But anyways, I was going to go over CrowdStrike because it wasn't doing much. But I see you're talking about a different symbol. But there we go. Just got the fill, CYRN. Grabbed 78s. If we get back above 10, that's the only price I don't mind stopping out there. But if it comes back, there we go. There's a bit of a flush as we speak on this one. Make sure we can get some shares out there. Why don't I ever just cross the spread? Seriously. Every now and then, I'll just sit there, try to get that perfect price. I'm at 950, was it 951 on that bid in front of 950? But I also want to be bidding down around like 9.25, just in case we get back down into the same range and can't break it. If it does want to fall further, I'd be looking like 840 to 850. But CYRN firmly back on the radar. Mullen, by the way, is actually setting up for a potential, put in some higher lows. So this sideways consolidation, if it breaks 35, it might start to go. I will not average into it another time. I feel like if it didn't roll over more from here, it's now trying to put in a recent lower high, then it's likely to break out. So no need to jump back into that trade. I will not be reloading that one. It has to come down, or otherwise I'm waiting for VWAP.
All right, Neo, just so we double check, we did get out of that. It did check up, so it's still a win on our last shares because we're able to get out. I mean, again, look, we're short 29s or 28s there, out 33s, some 34s. Now, of course, it's coming back down, but again, some of the takes there in the 22s. So basically a flat trade, but still not horrible there. I don't know, man. I mean, I want to. Like Apple's not really moving. I mean, we just traded Microsoft as well. That's kind of just doing nothing. The future's really doing nothing right now. So I don't know. Is there something else that we could trade out there, guys? Palantir. I like the stock, but I mean, 1260 right here. It's just not in any sort of a range. NVIDIA just turned positive. Plan, we talked about that earlier. Nucor, wow, Nucor up to 144. That's a good name as I'm just talking about my book right now.
What's the percent up on Nucor today?
5.
Yeah,
like 5.3 right now.
Those metals are strong.
Yeah, AMD, the name that we should just keep shorting, man, is Intel. Like, I'm just looking at all of these chip names. Like, Intel's down here today. So we either play relative
But it makes perfect sense because, like, remember we talked about this when someone said it was relatively strong the other day. It's like, nah. Like, when growth is up, Intel's down. And when growth is down, Intel holds or is slightly to the upside. I think that's your play. You know what else is down today? Global Foundries. When I was checking, it was relatively weak, which surprised me when the market was up. But, I should be doing this. We'll do this. Before we go to Brendan, I think it was Brendan. It was Ms. V. CYRN did pull back in, got some in front of that 50, got some in front of that 925. Now, keep in mind, I did miss the better trade. Right? Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the trade I should have got back into off 10 all the way down to 9. And that failed break it. Usually that's your best chance. Now, if we can get VWAP, fantastic. It'll give us a buck, maybe $1.20. Miss V.
Hey guys, I've got a super chat from Isa Mohammed. Thank you so much, Isa, for your generosity and kindness. I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful day. And team, just 30 minutes left until the end of this trading day. And I remind you, please like this video. We have 3,300 viewers right now, and we need your support. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks for the support, guys. Yeah, hit the like button, hit everything. We only have another 30 minutes and another 20 until the imbalances come through here. Wow, ABV 160 just took it out. ABBV, ABBV. I don't know if it's just taking it out for the first time. This is a big, well, it was a big holding of mine. Now we've trimmed some out there at 148 or something. I can't believe this. Look at this move. The last couple of days on ABV, just absolutely ripping. This has been a great name for us, as has Nucor. Shout out to Austin as well. He knows what's good with Nucor, but ABV, I guess we took out 160 earlier. I had no idea we were all the way up there. I just saw 160 right now. 160.14. Maybe this is it's not really day trade. Let's just check out what some of our bank stocks are doing today. JP Morgan 139. Is there a trade in here? I mean, the NASDAQ's holding up, man. The ES is not. The ES, well, actually, the ES is actually holding up 0.25 right now. JP Morgan still red on the day, but look at this baseline here, 138.50 here for JPM. So there is definitely, this is a 20-minute chart. So you get down here, we're still at 139.50, but that 138.70 bottom right there, what does it look like on a 1-minute chart? And we made it a couple times. Oh, look how good that is down here. 138.70, 138.70, 138.70. So we'll try to remember for that name tomorrow. JP Morgan just bouncing around, but that 138.70 held pretty good. So we'll see about a run. Look at the market now moving. So we'll be out of this name very, very soon. Alibaba just really debating taking a long, man, into this name. 103.70. We could hit that long against this bottom of 103. So that could also be a trade. But really, man, I mean, this is kind of barcode nation right now. So I don't really have a favorite to trade right here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, you're sort of seeing me, like, I'm still in Mullen. That's why I gravitated towards CYRN, because the momentum plays, like, I liked what was going on for a bit there in Affirm and Micron, but once the market starts going the other direction, just give me the movers, and we'll start trying to trade those a little bit more. I'm still watching it, NSRN, look at that, NRSN, I actually said it close to right. One time. It's nowhere near that 750 level for me, but if you're watching for one of these that still looks super bullish, the volume is dying down on this like big time, yet it's still managing not to capitulate. And you would think it would be doing that. Like, this is with other names starting to fall. Like, you already saw the rug pull on Mullen that we talked about. Almost got out of CYRN. Now, the last push it had was in front of VWAP. It was kind of, if you look at where this volume started to pick back up again, it was around 830 into like an 850 break. So I'm going to get out in front of that, trying to grab this last dollar here. I shouldn't be too greedy with this. If it does consolidate here, I should probably just take it off. But CYRN will get some of it back, but I had 1, 2, 3, missed the fourth short, and then we grab it the fifth time there. So, and the one that I missed was the best one. So, I'm not going to be up on the stock, but if you see a setup, you got to take it, and that's the way I sort of look at it. It gave you that failed break setup, got to try to have it, and when it retests that level, got to have it. Doesn't matter if you're up or down on the stock. If you got a setup that makes sense and works for you, you just put it on. You got to be able to have a short memory, kind of like a closer in baseball. You go out there and just make your best pitch every single time. Even if you gave up a bomb on your heater, you got to go back to the well when you're at Aroldis Chapman or whoever you might be. But CYRN, I'm now out of the trade. If it falls from here, I don't have any long ideas for this stock. I would think that maybe it could bounce off VWAP just because that was that previous 8 sort of quarter high. If it can get there, there might be a bit of a bounce for it. I'm not going to be hunting the long. We're also 15 minutes away from imbalances. I'm going to mention one in particular. A lot of people have talked about how crazy the price action was on Shop. By the way, it just had a sort of like it had a huge print on the imbalances, so the closing price is a little bit skewed. But anything that's plus or minus 10% without a catalyst might be on the radar for something that might move at the end of the day. So this one might be on the radar for me. And then going to be watching some of the tech names. I mean, Tesla always going to be a bit of a standout, and of course, the EVs like your NIOs of the world.
All right, so BBIG starting to go, and unfortunately we did miss NIO here, or sorry, BABA. As soon as we saw some of this, and I was like, I'm trying to get into something, couldn't find anything. Saw the futures start to turn. We did try to get into this, Wayne, but unfortunately I offered 38s. And again, just instead of marketing it in, we should be short in the 30s, but I still feel like we can get this. A little bit of a move up. This is very aggressive. Like, Alibaba wants to go higher. There's no doubt about that. It's just the futures aren't letting it. Like, it doesn't, although this looks like a decent fall back in, like it rips up. Like, it has no problem going back up. So we're pretty thankful to be, out of the way here on Alibaba, but I'd like to be short. We've hit this really good. We should have been short again, so we are waiting at 38. Let's go back over to Brendo.
Just saw Tesla pop up to the downside. Not really related, but interesting headline here, guys. Tomorrow, Tuesday, Elon is in Berlin and is set to hand over the very first car coming off the production line at Gigafactory Berlin tomorrow. So Tesla, worth a watch, still up 2% today.
Yeah, and it's been strong all day. Like, Tesla has been holding up relatively well. That 900 level never came into play, but it got close to 950. And I think I've said it over and over again for myself, I don't trade Tesla every day, but when it gets to a key level, you want to make sure you're there. So if I trade it every day, then it's not good. But I'm watching now Mullen, just going to another EV name. And this new battle that's happening here, and weirdly enough, Prad called 23 the God number, but $3.23 has been just buyers, and it just broke it now. So hopefully, this will be where it tries to roll over again. But I took shares out once there, took shares out again, just thinking if it was going to give me a shot at getting 30s up here. My last entry was at 28, 29. Then maybe I would get a shot at it. Of course, as I say all of that, I was about to tell you how strong the 23 level was and why I was like, yeah, I might have to be getting some more shares up at 330 and scalping this out. Then it decides to capitulate, and we'll get another fill there at 316. So you had to go from long to short. It's just required in Mullen today. It just feels like the selling is a little bit more rapid at this point. And when it goes one direction quickly, a lot of times that tells you who's in control. And the sellers are now firmly in control of Mullen, even though it's trying to make a bit of a bounce here. Doesn't mean the stock is done per se, but the run that it's been on, it's tremendous. Like you see something that goes from 50 cents. Manages to have like a push to $2, basically what you would think like dies all the way back in below $1 and you think it's dead. It breaks out a second time and then doubles up from 2. There is going to be a pullback, right? Like that's just one of those things. It's going to happen. There's going to be a rug pull because none of these names ever go up like this forever. And when it does come back, it's usually violent. And then it's good short for a couple of days. The last time it consolidated off of 150. You can see how gorgeous that was, but that was 3 days that it had to consolidate off that level before breaking out. So before I think about longs on Mullen again, that's what I want to see. And maybe it's this level right here, going back to Friday afternoon's bottom, that 260 area. Maybe it finds that for the next, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then tries to break back out above like 335, which is the level now. But that's the kind of thing I'll be looking for before I'm long this stock again.
We should have been short BABA again because it ripped up and it touched us and then went right back down. We didn't get anything. BBIG though, guys. I cannot believe this name went all the way back up to the upside there. We actually got an 08 bid there out. So we talked about that's 5 cents. But yeah, we had to hold this one. Should have been longer here. We are waiting out for a little bit of a move up now. We cashed it out on the way up. Like we were really happy to get 301s and then 304s and then 308s right there. So we're back up to 308. Now my next offer is right into here, 315. We'll see if we get a rip upside for Vinco Ventures into the close. So far, so good on this name. I know a lot of you are trading this, so that's been a good little hold for me. But again, we tried to get longer down there. Nothing on Vinco Ventures, BBIG. Still long on that name. Mullen, yeah, 320 there in moving. We do have Nike earnings. I think they're going to be better than expected. But again, you do have the worry of Nike missing out on supply chain. China's shut down, like the whole country's shut down right now. That's not going to be a good forward look for Nike. So actually with that kind of a talk, yeah, I think you're probably going to test lower, to be honest with you. I can't see how they're going to guide fruitfully. So watch out for Nike coming through at the end of the day here. I'm not worried about a trade. It's just there are reports coming, and I can't see them with China being completely shut down. It's like, I don't know how many provinces are shut down. We were talking about this earlier today, and without knowing about it, I'm not going to say much, but China, a big, big retail market for Nike, and especially their higher end stuff. So we'll wait to see what China is affecting Nike, especially with not just buying of shoes and product, but, that's the creation, and shutdown of various plants and factories and whatnot. So Nike going to be in a big trouble, I think, today, but we'll see. I'm going to be buying that name on any weakness. Apple, another name that I was looking at today, but haven't got into it. It was barcoding for most today, and up at this 164.50. Wait till you see the chart. If it ever loads, this is just what it's doing. It's like 164, 168, or 165, just back and forth here in that range. So not doing too much, and this is the sort of the top barcode, 166. But man, we killed this name. Last week we went long at 151 in the long-term account. Hopefully we get an opportunity to do that again for Apple. So nice little bottom there. We'll see if it takes us out tomorrow. 163 flat bottom tomorrow for Apple. As the futures, man, I wish it was doing something, but it's just doing absolutely nothing.
Oh, speaking of the future.
Yeah.
I wanted to get to this question because it was a fun one. Like I'm just in both Mullen and Sen and going to hold on to these. We got our stops, which is with the momentum. But the question was, if you couldn't get into NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft individually, if you took buying 1,000 NQ contracts, would that actually raise the price of each? I'm going to tell you why that's an easy yes. Here's a level 2 of the NASDAQ futures. It's expensive to trade. Off the top of my head, the buying power for 1,000 contracts is probably more than this office combined, or this trading floor combined, and probably several trading floors, because that's a ton. But yeah, these are each in an individual contract per level. Each handle, there might be 10, 15 contracts. A few thousand, a thousand's insane. Like, you just saw 30 contracts, and that's a big level that stands out. 50 contracts is a big one. If you bought 1,000 contracts, the underlying stocks are going to move in that regard. And not just because of the algos, right? Like, it's not just about the algos. That's such a whale of an order that you'd probably have some humans out there, like individual traders, reacting to something like that. So, it's not so much that just individual stocks move, index futures and ETFs, but it can be the other way around, right? Like, if there was a flash crash or something and just pick whatever ETF is your favorite, you'd better believe some of the underlying names, if it was just related to that particular ETF, some of the underlying names are probably going to move on that. It's not just the other way around, but yeah, 1,000 contracts, that's insane. That's a ton.
Yeah, it's too much. You're not going to be able to do that, especially on the NASDAQ. There is the minis and there's the Qs and things like that. But yeah, the math is real simple when you're using ETFs. I mean, you got to figure out the percentage weight of the NASDAQ 100 for Apple and Microsoft and all that. And then you figure out the move in the Qs. Do it. There's spreadsheets and all that. We're not going to sit here and figure that out for you, but good question there. All right, so NASDAQ making moves down, so is Alibaba. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, again, still looking. Facebook down to 110, 310, 210. Right now, Facebook down to 210, not 110. 210 bouncing off there. Right now, that's the 50 period as we look. Right now, 210. But, just again, bounce. Like, there's really nothing happening. The imbalances in 5 minutes. And here's what the imbalances look like right now. Actually, I need to format them because we are now in our new spot. So let's go like this. Get rid of ARCA, push OK, because I had to log out and back in. So we're not going to get any data there early on. But this is what we're going to look for. We're going to sort it by size. This is going to fill up here at 350 in their market on close orders. So that will definitely affect the market. We're 50 cents in the money on BABA, and we're pretty happy with it, man. It's still the same trade. We still have only about 20% of this position left. We'll see if BABA can make a lower low here. And I don't mean on the day, just through this level, 102.37. That's kind of our area of concern right now for Alibaba. It was well traded by me today. We were initially thinking about the long, then we flipped over to the short, and I'm really happy with Alibaba today. So no complaints about this name, and I think we might just wind up holding these. Oxy goes like Oxy today. What is going on? Like, as if Warren Buffett can't influence these stocks. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he takes a 10% stake, and then out
He's
of
buying more too. He bought more.
Yeah, exactly. And out of the blue today, you take out 52-week highs. Oxy right now, 52-week high, rocketing up, man. What a great buy that was at 53. I guess you just follow, I guess I was gonna say Uncle Warren, but maybe Grandpa Warren through here, because wow. Big time movement, man. He sure knows how to pick these names. Oxy, 52-week high, up 9% today. More than oil, 52-week high. Absolutely. Like, Oxy's at a 52-week high and still rocking to the north side when oil's at 110 off of its 52-week high of 130. Like, where would Oxy be if this thing was at 130 again? Mind blown right now for that position.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna ring the register here. I don't hit this one enough, but I feel like it's because, well, if Bitcoin gets back above like 45 or like 50 or something like that, we'll probably hit the congratulations a bit more. But Sen can't get off of VWAPs. That 250 short will terminate at 230. We're getting close to, like Sean said, the imbalances. We have to be flat at the end of the day. That means no more positions on. That'll be running out of time for Mullen as well. If it goes further to the downside, it better start to happen quickly. Just keep in mind, like, this has been a clear high volume momentum change for Mullen. So an adjustment, to me, is definitely going to be warranted. Checking on CYRN, it did make a bigger push down, so I would have gotten 850, 860 if I'd hung on just a little bit further. But you see it bounced pretty heavily off that level anyway. So this remains bullish, right? Like, I think as much as that was, it was a good short off 10, but this chart's pretty bullish. It's holding VWAP. It's not even close to retracing above that. Each breakout price, like the last big break was 850. It bounces off that on a dime there. So CYRN still is a pretty, even on the daily chart, it's still pretty solidly looking. Just you're concerned about this $10 level because the last time it was here, it broke out and then tried to maintain that 10, and then it was flush city. So if I come in tomorrow and it's holding below $10 and tries to break that at the open, I'd consider that bearish and be looking to short it into like $6.50 or $7, something into this range here. But for now, very, very bullish chart there on CYRN. 2 minutes to those imbalances. I'll only have Mullen on, and then we'll see if that can roll over a little bit more after that rug pull.
Yeah, the market right now is tanking as I'm looking to find out. Was it Amir Zing or who was it there? Marcus, James? Yeah, it was Amir Zing. What's up? Asking about like when does Nubank? This is just new holdings, I think. Yeah, new holdings. And I'll just ask Brendan. He's looking right now. Berkshire came with a holding in this. This was supposed to be like the South American, new South American SoFi. So we're going to find out if they have dissolved or not said holdings. But yeah, this may be, the next runner. But again, I don't know. Like I was just saying that about, you guys said you want me to call him Papa Warren. So yeah, we'll find out about, or Papa Buffett maybe, there to the downside. But what's up, Brendo?
I was just double checking here. I just realized this date is the end of last year. So as of the end of last year, 107.12 million shares owned by Berkshire. I'll double check on that though, because that was obviously a few months ago.
Yeah,
got a few.
Yeah, Pratt had that too, but that's only 0.3, I guess, of a percent stake from Pratt. So
I guess for him, that's not that big. I
don't think that's big at all. And for Oxy's 10%, like.
But yeah, for him, like for other fund managers, like when they hold like 2 or 3% of a stock, that's probably like.
I'm just saying, like 0.3 of a business. Look.
For some fund managers, that'd be like,
I'll
hey,
take it. You can send those funds over here. But yeah, that's not for the amount of names that Warren has.
Yeah, for him,
Berkshire has. I guess that's going to be a small amount there. So great Uncle Warren. Yeah, that's more.
Uncle's better.
That's better. I like that's the great Uncle Warren. Okay, I like that one. Mike Crehan, shout out. Laced Up Souls, hit him up if you needed some of that. Okay, we'll watch Alibaba. We'll watch the futures right now coming through in just less than 5 seconds. You're going to get a big update here. You're going to see the stock. You're going to see it moving. Right now, we'll go to Brendan after this. 350 comes out right now. CRTA with a sell. Baba, I saw Apple there with a nice little buy. So there goes Apple with a move upside right now for AAPL. A nice little move up. You see the market starting to go up. There's obviously more bids here than the other way around. There's Boeing as well, upside. Probably that's a nice little 1.13 million. That's creating a nice upside bump here for Boeing. Other than that, I don't see too many names. Really just Cisco with what happened to Cisco there? Cisco with a big sell as well, making moves down. So we'll get the imbalances back when Brendan comes.
This is a little bit more recent. Anyways, guys, February 21st, an SEC filing shows 1.8 billion in notional of Visa and MasterCard going out, 1.3 billion of Nubank coming in. So looks like, he might be buying still. It's hard to tell, but selling both Visa and MasterCard, and looks like over the B mark anyways for NU.
So the roller coaster that was Mullen is over for me. Flip to the short, and the shorts where we made it back. Obviously, well, we had the long this morning was good, but then give some of it back going long on the flush, and then we're able to short to make it back in there. And you mentioned Cisco there, Sean. It's the biggest one that I could find, at least on the. Now it doesn't want to load up.
Yeah, it was there.
There we go. Yeah, but it didn't really it didn't move the needle or anything. But it is the biggest imbalance for a 3 million sell. It's actually going in the other direction. If anything, it just bounced with the market a little bit here. I didn't really see anything that stood out. U.S. Steel was on there, and like you already said, Boeing. And Apple's been there for a million and a half, almost every other day at least. So I don't know if that's going to do much of anything. But yeah, it's pretty mixed here. I am noting Nielsen, and the only reason I'm going to mention Nielsen's imbalance of almost 1 million shares is because of how beaten up it was overall. It caught a huge bid. They rejected a buyout offer and gapped down, and then they caught a bit of a bid and it hasn't done much since. That's why it's only interesting. I might watch this as a million to buy because someone obviously liked picking shares up of this when it gapped down this morning.
Let's talk about laced up souls. My wife Marissa messaging me. She's picking up some Air Force Ones as we speak. She's got to get that Miami trip going.
Yeah.
So one more day of me, and then you have Mr. Arun for a few.
When do you fly?
And then we'll be back Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, so we're out of here Wednesday afternoon. It should be a fun one, as long as we test negative. So that's my biggest worry right now, honestly. Like, I don't know. Hopefully we can test negative and hop on that plane.
You're fine.
You still need those rat tests. I'm fine. I know we're fine.
This is a dumb question, but I thought they were relaxing some of that.
They are not.
Okay.
I think April 1st maybe they're relaxing some of it.
Okay.
But that's to get into the U.S. I don't know if that's to get back here. Are they all black Air Force Ones? I have no idea. She just sent me the price tag and was like, "Is that okay?" I mean, no, but yeah.
Really?
I mean, what am I supposed?
What I want to ask is like when.
What am I supposed to do?
If you said no, what happened?
I don't ever say no.
Okay.
So it's kind of, that's what I'm saying, it's like an irrelevant. I do sometimes say no, I'm a little frugal. Oh, yeah, talk about that. Like, see, this is what happens, Tim Hortons. When I get a free coffee on your stupid roll up the rims, this is what happens. An extra large happens, okay? And then when they give me 5 free points, like I hate that. Every roll wins, and it's 70 points for a free coffee, and then they give you 5 points. So yeah, I'm gonna hammer the free coffee and get that extra large there. So, but
you know what I say about?
an update on Baxter, by the way.
Oh,
go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, all I was going to say was what I like about Roll Up the Rim to Win is that McDonald's combats it with their free coffee thing.
Yeah, McDonald's is pretty legit, man. They go to the dollar coffees.
Yeah. They're smart,
and they have the one.
They go with the discount.
I'm not. I really like McDonald's.
Well, what's the Baxter update?
Oh, the Baxter update is he got shut down.
No.
So yeah, but lost from top. So
that's fine.
He's still up to 150. So he was up 3 bills. He got shut down, and then he showed me his trade. And it was actually NLSN that he made all his money on. So he traded that today.
Yeah,
but still positive day. So first day trading, a positive day for Baxter. Oh, actually, we only have now 5 minutes left. So I'm really there. I don't. The problem is free movies is that not only does my wife get that treatment, but it's gone over to my daughter. So like she now says, well, like if Daddy was here, type of stuff, and it's just like I made a lot of mistakes in my life. Let's leave it at that.
That's not whatever, man. Spoiling a little girl.
Yeah.
And I only say that in defense of myself, but
right. No,
I'm with you on that one. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to be dropping in Miami with that attitude.
You're in trouble.
But
you're fine.
I'm in trouble.
Make sure you check that steakhouse out. I forget the name of it, but it's so legit.
Yeah, but I ain't taking my kids. I mean, my kid will eat like a porterhouse, and that'll cost me like, $500 or something. Okay, with only 5 minutes left right now, we can talk about lots of things, but I think Brendan actually has stock market related news.
I try, anyways. Let's talk about what's coming up both aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow. We've touched on basically all of these, but we'll make it official, guys, with the earnings board.
Is that
Nike?
We have Harpreet Singh in the chat here messaging. So we have a good friend, Harpreet Singh. So I'm wondering if that is him. But shout out, what's up, my man, if that is you. I don't know.
Different last name.
Probably not. Oh.
No.
Yeah, my bad.
We actually do know.
What was I thinking?
There is one that we went to school with in high school.
Obviously, that's a different last name.
We went to a high school with a Harpreet Singh, but you're thinking of a different.
Yeah. That's not. And I'm sure he'd be messaging us a lot more that he was watching us. This is a close friend of ours. There.
Just quickly, Cisco here.
That's Brampton for you.
No, of course. Cisco did make a spike. Remember there was that imbalance on Cisco? It's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
And the second it was gone, look at the spike in buying on Cisco when the imbalance went away. So looks like right at about, like a couple of minutes after, must have paired off a little bit, and then a huge spike up in Cisco. And obviously, be able to capture that trade's pretty hard. You'd be looking for the fade, if anything else, but you have to be on it to catch it in that moment. So the market's making a bit of a break back to the upside here. Good sign for it. I just noticed Tesla just was trying to get back into VWAP. So that relative strength in Tesla, I don't know what's going on, man, because that NASDAQ made that late run for us, and it just made that break. So the NASDAQ trying to get green. I'm not sure it's going to get there. I just wish it was taking Tesla with it. I wanted to see 950 on Tesla tomorrow because I think that would be a monster level, but not a great sign here that it didn't just go with the market.
Oh yeah, by the way here, just to talk about, this is my man right here, curling. So we were curling on Sunday and I coached. This is I and this is he learning the skip ways. So we're here curling. Shout out to the High Park Curling Club as well. And yeah, trading, everything. I'm all over everything. So, you know, you got to be obviously a part of your kids' lives, as Neil and I say all the time. And yeah, we're friends from high school if you're watching for the first time. And obviously Brampton, I mentioned that as well. Me, Brendan and Neil and Trader Prad, all from Brampton, and Valeria from Brampton as well. So you can see, they're not even listening. Like I say that, it goes right over everything.
I know, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, so we are now out.
I'm thinking about your steak that you're going to eat.
BBIG, we are out of that trade as that's going. Yeah, Valeria's not from Brampton. Yeah, still not listening. Okay, so Alibaba, we're out of that one as well, as that took out the top. We could have made a little bit more money on that. Obviously, we put some money back there. As these imbalances, like Neil mentioned, are starting to pair off right now, and there's really not much on here. Most Def is here with Mosaic going through. Pfizer just showed up. Twitter, I don't know what Twitter was before, but I know we've been shorting this into the imbalances, but that's not a big enough number and starting to pair off as well. Other than that, this is what the imbalances are. Mr. Hood, we haven't traded in a while, but Robinhood making an appearance on there, up to I say $13 Robinhood, as because it made a bottom of $9.50 there, Robinhood.
Javi, you're just saying, and you're right about this in some ways. The best of the day has arrived, the Tony dance. I just glanced over my shoulder to make sure, because there's only like a minute and a half left. I saw Miss V go over there, but Tony had the headphones on. I'm like, is he trading still?
The best thing about what's about to happen is how matching these guys are. It's too bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's too bad that Valeria, may or may not be taken. I don't know if that's been announced yet. But if not, look at how much wicked couple these two would make coming out right now. Flash them quickly here if you have that. There it is. Look at that. There you go. What up, Tony? What up, V? Right there in the plaid. And that's going to be a fun little bell ring opportunity right there. Tony's just a beast, man. The dude has 3 jobs, by the way. I don't know if you know that. I'm
psyched about one of those.
Yeah, I already told him, man. I was like, get me some tickets to the. Well, I'm going to get tickets from you, first of all.
Obviously.
And then the Jays games. Me and Tony going to hit those up. We're going to do some damage, right, Tony? At those games. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Tony. But here we go. Getting ready to rock and roll with only 30 seconds left. King Tony, man. We are here right now, ready to rock and roll up to the upside. 165.30 for Apple starting to move. But right now, we only have 20 seconds left. I have no idea why I'm on Robinhood, but Alibaba up to 103.50. That's the prices right there. With only 15 seconds, let's go.
I am also curious why you're on Robinhood, but why not? Let's drop the countdown. It's been a good.
It was the imbalances.
It's been a good Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it was imbalanced.
Yeah.
But there they are. 4,
3,
2, and 1.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what?
All right, it's not a contest here, guys. Let's just beat this until someone stops. What I've noticed is also, and the market's closed, by the way, and I will remember to throw it to Brendan at some point in the next couple minutes.
No.
Whatever.
His screen's loading anyway.
Yeah, his screen's not even loaded yet, Brendan. But anyways, what I was going to say there was, now that we've moved closer, now that is such, it's epic ringing now, just
it's a little
throughout our
loud.
heads continues now, and I just don't even. I'm officially banning Randy from ringing that now because how close we are to that bell. I don't know what's going to happen, but you let us know whenever you're ready there, Brendan, because as I
can see the screen.
The screen is just loading.
Pretty music.
Yeah.
This is what we're looking at right now.
Token Tony. That's not a good name.
No.
I think it's a Google thing. I don't know. It hasn't really been working all day. Oh, Miss V has it. Let's go to Miss V's screen, and we can see. Yeah, there we go. So basically flat for the S&P guys, but negative for both the Dow and the NASDAQ. Cryptos, I mean, we were talking about them earlier on, but they kind of gave up a little bit today and went back to the downside on that headline. And crude oil going to be worth watching again tomorrow, obviously.
All right.
I mean, 7%. I mean, come on. It's back.
Someone said I have a bug in my ear. Yeah, this is just, we all have these. We all have these earpieces here. And that's what we were talking about. We have the MPOWs, but we are upgrading. Maybe right after the show, we'll get the new Sonys ready to rock. My problem with this, you've had problems hearing with it. But it's the battery life, I think, was the key. But it's not about.
Well, it's not the highest
it's just
quality.
It's just that we've used them also for a very long time. I don't want to hurt anybody here that is
If you work for MPOW,
I don't even know. Is that
I have no
company
idea.
name MPOW? I think it is.
Oh.
As we go. But hey, what a fantastic day of trade today, guys. Not too much on the earnings front. If something else hits, we had, what was the big one
Nike
again?
and Carnival.
Oh, yeah, Nike and CCL. So CCL, I believe,
else,
is
but-
pre-market tomorrow, and I think Nike the same thing. So we'll wait to see if anything spikes through. But a big thanks to Trader Prad today. Some big trades on the afternoon show, or I guess the midday show. Thank you to Trader Prad for that, and for continuously to talk for 3 hours straight. Great interviews too. And
Yeah.
if you don't know, now you're about to know, because Prad also interviewing some of the new traders on the floor. So
Daily.
I think that happens around noon. I don't know. Yeah, about noon. He's saying yeah. So and Miss Via, yeah, she's right there. I could confirm with her as well. So noon every day, new experiences, new trades. Valeria, we didn't get your trades today. Were you in anything today, or?
Yes, I was long Tesla. Great trade. $13 per share in the money.
You $13. Forget about Arun, man. What you guys want to see Valeria?
Look
in
at
this
that.
seat?
Yeah, I think
Could
I
make
know where
that
that
happen.
trade.
Could make that. I shouldn't ask that because the answer is going to be yes. So no, Valeria, we cannot sit here, right? Because
No.
the overwhelming.
I like my
response
job.
Will yeah, exactly. We both don't want to get axed out of
quick time.
here. But okay, thank you, Fahad. Great day today. Obviously, we talked about that on Friday. Much respect. Also to you, Lucas. Thank you for the training and for getting us all in this lovely little 4-box here. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Miss V. Thank you for Brendan for coming with all the news. Thank you to Liz and to Maggie and to our traders behind us. Thanks to Greg. Thanks to Tony. I think we got everybody right there. Rob and Mark as
And
well.
congratulations, Baxter. Good first day.
Yeah, good
Live.
first day live. And now he wants to like remote in and travel the world because, he's solved all of these problems. So like this video if you can, and we will see you back tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, guys.
Bye, guys.